So what's going on, folks? How's it going? TGIF, TGIF. Welcome to the Friday edition of the never-ending game development. One of these days, it's gonna be scary. One of these days, it's just gonna happen. I'm gonna go, you know what? That's it, man. I'm shipping the game. It will happen. I was gonna say it could happen. No, it will happen. So, what's going on, guys? So here we go. Once again, as you see, I am here at Blue Screen Gaming. Thanks again to Dave for letting me set up shop here while I am temporarily in LA doing my freelance work. This is Friday. I got one more week to go, and then I pack up and go home to Vegas. But I'm here right now and still working away. Just did a full day worth of animation work, more or less. But still hanging out with you guys. Actually, I don't know. Is that music a little loud? Let's see. I might dial that down a little bit. Let's see. Where'd it go? So it's kind of getting tired of the chiptune music, so I picked up this one, but this one's a little on the beefy side, isn't it? At least it is in my ear. I'm going to dial that down. You guys can tell me if that's okay, but right now I'm just going to leave that like that. Yep. Okay. So, what's up? How's it going, guys? So, trying to think about what I want to play with tonight. I could try and be adventurous and see if I can reverse engineer what was going wrong with that error. I don't know, until you guys start showing up and throwing movie talk in my face, I might try and actually jump on that. I could always go back, of course, and try and get myself some more renders on my icons. That has to get done at some point. So, tell you what, until you guys start talking to my ear, I guess I'll go ahead and play for a minute here. Let me get adjusted. Okay, I'm gonna play and see if I can get a sense of what was blowing up. If you remember the 2 days ago when I was trying to play with this, I was getting errors right off the start when I was doing the online player stuff. And unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to play with it last night. Okay, I had a chance, but I was just tired, so... Ooh, that's definitely loud. Hold on. Volume mixer, where is he? There it is. Oh, wait, it's that guy. He's my editor. Okay, I'll turn that back up. Make sure that one's going. Yep, that's muted. Okay, so yeah, I was going to work on it last night, but I just got home a little late, kind of tired. It was raining here in LA, and that was a long trip home. Travel time in LA is brutal. Travel time in LA with rain, sure. You can walk home and probably get there faster. So, anyway, so I played hooky last night. I'll fess up. I didn't actually pull out the laptop and work on it last night, so I didn't make any headway. There you go, true confessions. But let's see if I can figure out. Tell you what, I'm gonna go ahead and over here. I'm gonna fire up this guy, and I'll fire up this guy online. Say here and here. Let me go over to console. Alright, incoming villagers. So that's looking okay. But then, obviously on this side, he's already showing the pairing. Alright, so I think I'm going to have to get this to work right, I may actually have to initialize the game on this side. So let me go ahead and nuke that. Alright, throw this over the side over here. Cancel. And I don't trust that to actually be purged yet, so I'm just going to do a quick reset. Make sure I'm working with a clean slate here. Okay, so I will start, or did I start over here? Okay, let me start over here. Do that one, do that one. Wait, did that work? That's bizarre. Aim. Huh. Oh no, it just went into... No, it didn't actually pair up at all. It's in the, that's not me playing. That's just the computer. Ah, okay. And then this is happening because I guess I'm not actually, when I'm starting the game, I am not turning off the versus camera. That's my assumption. So let me go ahead and do that. That's some low-hanging fruit. That I can knock out. Go away. Let's see. Say start aligned game. It's there. Boom, boom, boom. And we'll say hide. Nope. It's under the... Really? I thought I had menu. Menu island. Okay. And you can tell me that I don't have the... Yeah, okay. Main menu GUI. So active false. So that's just the GUI. That's not actually the main menu island. That's interesting. I could either try and just grab the camera, or I could try and actually set up the game controller so it has access to that. So let me just do that. That's going to be cleaner. And I can just turn it back on after the game hits game over status. So let me come back over here to my hide. Oh wow, I'm actually destroying it? Dude, that's not good. Okay, obviously I haven't visited this code in ages because that's not what I want to do. I would want to minimize it, but I wouldn't want to destroy it. So that's on select online. Really? Okay, you know what? Let me come back at this. Let me see what the two cameras are that are actually alive and active. That would probably be a smart idea. So... do this. Trying to squeeze in some actual work here before the movie talk begins, which it inevitably does, which I'm totally fine with because, you know, games and movies, man, that's as good as it gets right there. Okay. Fire him up. There you go. Ba-dump, ba-dump. Alright, so... I did fire... Okay, I fired him off first, but... That's interesting. He never found it, so let me... I gotta do it the other way around. You know what? Actually, I don't have to fire it up, because if I just send it into... All I'm trying to do is track down the camera. So let me just let a bot pick the game up. There's an idea. Alright, so I'm gonna sit here for a minute, and then bot's gonna grab it. There it goes. And then we're gonna flip here. Alright, and then he's going to wail on me, so what I'm going to do is just be a jerk. I'm going to set this up so I can't actually... Let me zoom in here. There it goes. Boom. Alright. So what I'm going to do is just actually just hide a couple of these buildings. There you go. So now he's not going to be able to actually finish me off. So I can play, and now he's going to just fire endlessly in frustration. Alright, so let me find out what cameras are live and kicking here. Got this guy who... That's my... Let's see, that's my UI camera, right? Yeah. So there's no audio on him, so he's not the culprit. So that's one down. That's the... Yeah. Main menu, and then versus. So it must be the versus. Let's see. So if I just click him off for a second, I clear that, and I get no more warnings. So it is the versus camera. I guess what we can do is just actually turn him off. I'll do that and turn it back on during the game over. So I'll put it right next to, oops, let me get in the right script here. So let me find my camera object, and then I do actually, versus camera. Okay. Let me see if I'm actually using that. See if that's truly active. First camera set. Yeah, it is. Okay. Cool. So if we go, alright, I'm gonna put it here. This actually is probably gonna be too early. So I wouldn't be surprised if while we're showing the versus menu, it suddenly goes away. And I'm probably gonna have to move that down to, let's see, start. No, actually it may have worked. Let's find out. Just key thing right now is just trying to make sure that I get that camera turned off so I don't have the two audios. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's see if that does it. I do not see the error. Wait, oh, it's when the other one comes up. Hold on, that was premature. Nope, it's still doing it. Alright, so then... Huh. Okay, should be doing it there. Set active. Oh, okay, because I'm showing online game over menu. Did I just jump all the way down? Lost in my own code. Okay, yeah, so that's in the game over position there. Alright. Alright, so let's find out if this is actually attached properly, shall we? Oops. Compiling. There we go. So I'm going to game controller. Let's find out where that bad boy is. Versus camera. Yeah. That's interesting. So it should be getting turned off, but it's not. So we got to figure out who the culprit is. Oh! Let's see, show versus. Yeah, that's correct. Boom. Yeah, it's still active. Look at that. Okay. Now I'm getting annoyed. Ooh, mood lighting. Okay. Let's distract villagers. Okay, so we're gonna look for mascots. And come down here. Let that all finish, and let's just put it down here. Versus camera object active to false. Alright, now I have that up above. So tell you what, look, delete this one. No reason to actually have that code twice. Oh. Oh, wait a second. Hold on, hold on. Game over. Okay. Oh, I missed that. Okay. Start game. try this again. There it is. Alright. So wait for the buildings to come in place. Try it there. Alright, if it's still active, then it must be, I must have it somewhere in the, when it's waiting for the buildings to get placed, that the camera's actually getting turned back on. Let's see. Alright, so far so good. Versus camera. There it is. Turned off. Alright, and just, you gotta make sure that when we go back to versus camera, on the game over, that the versus camera gets turned back on again. Online. Set active, that's good. Alright, so then I show the game over menu for 7 seconds, and then okay, yeah, and then it's getting turned on. Okay, sweet, I already had that working. Alright, so then I need a proper game, but then that's not gonna happen because it's busted. Okay, so that's working. So let's figure out why that error's popping up. Which I have to actually get it to show. So what we're going to do is actually, I think if we let him start, so he can actually host the game. So we'll start there, and then start over here. Let's see, boom, 12. Waiting on the host building. Incoming. Okay, there it is, okay. There's our screw up. So then interesting, it's like it never received. What's going on there? Okay. Wow. Okay. So, alright, so when I set up that other code, oh, hey, it's the guy who loves Drop Dead Fred movies. Wait. You're saying you love Drop Dead Fred, or that I do? Unless we're being funny. We're being really funny. I liked Carrie Fisher in Drop Dead Fred. How's it going, Rocket Stone? How you doing, man? Happy Friday. I do. Not this. I like Phoebe Cates. Definitely like Carrie Fisher back in that time frame. But yeah, Drop Dead Fred. I'm still bummed that I actually paid money for that one. But how's it going, man? Happy Friday. How you doing? Did you watch the short last night? What short? Was there a short? Was I supposed to watch a short? Sorry. Kidding. Yeah, I did, man. I did. It was pretty well made. It was actually pretty well made. Not the most upbeat thing I've ever seen. It was definitely bleak, man. You definitely have a dark streak going for you. I don't know if that's sort of like your usual MO, or if that was just sort of like one you were focusing on. But definitely some interesting themes. Definitely a brave actress for willing to put herself out there like she did. So, and yeah, you're definitely right. Thank you for telling me no. Don't put it up on the screen here. That would not have been the smartest move. But yeah, man. So yeah, so what are you doing with it? Are you putting it out into festivals? Or are you just sort of like sitting on it, or what's your process for that? Tell me what you're doing. I don't know if that's something that you did recently, or is that something you did a while back. So I don't know the time frame, if it's something that you were just starting to put out there or not. But yeah, tell me. And yeah, for like what I assume is probably, if you're like anything like me, it's a no budget kind of thing. That was pretty cool. You got like the little prosthetic makeup stuff on the second actress. That was pretty cool, man. So, alright, I'll wait for you to I'll wait for you to get back to me here while I try and figure out how bad did I break my own game. Alright. So actually, I guess it would probably under. All right, man. You still there? Did you go away? Oh, here we go. I don't know if I mentioned when it was shot, but that was a few years ago. Okay, yeah. If you did mention it, I missed that part. We had it screened a few places, but that's all. I did explain some of this in the email. It's my phone, so I think I was more focused on grabbing the link, so I'm sorry about that. My phone is like not the largest, and basically I hate to do this, but if I want to read something proper, I gotta bust out these guys. So, oh, the joys of getting older. But as I like to say, beats the alternative. So yeah, I apologize for not reading the all the specific details of it, but I was definitely grabbing the Vimeo address and firing that up. But so that's cool. So you did actually get into a few festivals then, right? You had to screen at a few places, which that alone is an achievement, man. I've made short films, and I've had plenty of less than stellar responses for mine, and I've actually had some buddies that have done the same thing. It's definitely a challenge. I think I mentioned the one that I worked on before, the 716, the sci-fi one that I showed you some footage of before. That dude, he's an established actor, and he's putting it out there, and he's having a tough time getting it shown. So I know it's definitely a challenge to get that. I think I did the Ed Burns story not that long ago, where I talked about how difficult it is to actually get the exposure. It's kind of a weird club thing too. I think it can get very cliquish. If you get yourself a reputation, then you can pretty much do whatever you want. Case in point, do a little movie talk here. I did actually watch a little of the Buster Suggs on Netflix. Keeping in mind that I love Coen Brothers most of the time, but man, Buster Suggs, that one's a bit of a challenge to me. It does seem kind of like the Coen Brothers just sort of like doing I have not finished it, so maybe it kind of brings everything back together full circle towards the end, but so far I'm about halfway through, and that I just if it had not been done by the Coen Brothers, I don't know if it would have gotten the adulation that it's gotten from the critics, or maybe I'm just too dumb to actually grasp what's going on. But yeah, so that's cool. So talk to me about I think you mentioned before that you were trying to do short films, but I don't know if you've done like a whole collection, or you still pushing on, trying to do other short films, or what are you thinking? Alright, and I need to bring up I guess what I need is my Tashira net. Use my T-net. I think this would be under here. Is it Sun Blue? Oops. Update. Nope. Okay. Alright, so what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to try and reverse this. So, I'm going to take a little more of a stab at this, and if I crash and burn, I'm still kind of, I have a hard time working on this because it is a smaller screen. I'm so used to having stuff spread out more. So if this doesn't come together, I may just sort of break down and go back to my can't go wrong with just creating the art content. Maybe do a few more animation cycles for some of those idle poses that I gotta do, the idle animations for some of those characters. If I cannot figure this out here tonight. I think I broke it because I was doing that thing where I wanted to send the chosen mascot to the other player in an online game, and in introducing that, I think I might have broken something. So I have to try and figure that out. So let's see. Long story short, I've had a couple of short films produced, and I've been in hiatus for 5 years. Honestly, because I've met so many people with false promises or really shady deals. Oh yeah, yeah, I believe that. Don't have to twist my arm to convince me of that. Unfortunately, when you're trying to write some speculative material or help people in the indie scene, you're weeding through them all year. Yeah, you know what? I totally understand where you're coming from. I'm sure I probably mentioned this before, but just the in my situation, because when I do these conventions, when I have the games sitting up there for show and tell, I'll also frequently like throw up a little video screen that shows some of my animation work. It's just a way to bring people in, right? Because I can't just stop them and force them to play the game. So I'll put up the animation stuff sometimes. It's just sort of like a come on, right? So someone will see that and go, ooh, wait, is that the Flash? Wait, did you work on the Flash? And I go, yeah, hey, while you're here, check out these games, right? So invariably in that process, I will get plenty of people that come up and start talking, deals and ideas and all kinds of fun stuff like that. And it's, out of all the discussions I've had, and some of them just seem like so legit, but invariably they all seem to like fall apart on you. I mean, the worst thing is like, you really can't predict. I mean, some of them are obvious, that they're obviously going to go nowhere, but I mean, you really can't predict which are the ones that are going to, potentially blow up, right? So you have to sit there and scratch your head and do this math of like which one you think really has the potential to go somewhere, because you're going to devote yourself time and effort. I mean, unless it's something where they actually have money, which, let's be honest, that doesn't happen, that it's just, it is tough to pick and choose, what seems like the right one to go with. So, yeah, I can understand the frustration, and I mean, you gotta eat, you gotta pay the bills, so yeah, I totally sympathize, I mean, if I had my ideal situation, I would just be sitting home making animated short films, endlessly, without the concern of, is this gonna make money? I would love to do that, but not quite yet a reality. So, I totally understand where you're coming from, and I totally sympathize, man. Totally sympathize. I wish I had some good advice aside from just, hope that you pick the right people, But, I mean, I think the only key thing is that if you're truly passionate about it, you keep trying, no matter how much you get hosed, and you just keep stabbing at it and just hope that one of the ones that you get hits the right way. Oh, hey, what was that? That was that follower. Look at that. Hey. I'm sorry, what is that? PMA Pima Didio? I'm having a hard time with that one. I'm sorry if I just butchered that. Thank you so much for the follow, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Look at that. The 32, man. I'm getting closer to that 50. So I got to do that, and I got to get my average up to like 3 viewers an hour. So right now I'm like 2.4. But yes. Hey, man. Thank you so much for the follow. Appreciate that. Thank you much. Yeah, and I'll try not to embarrass myself. Right now I'm just digging through this thing. So this is an online game, and I was trying to figure out what I broke on this side. So he is sending. Okay, that's good. So let me actually try this the other way around. Let me do it where waiting for the host building. So do this one more time. Maybe I can track down where it's getting messed up. But if this doesn't work, I will just go back to my tried and true creating the art content for the game. Or we'll just start talking movies. Oh, here we go. I know, man, I understand. Remember, I'm 33, so this isn't new to me. Just pretty jaded. Yeah, I know. I mean, I was 30 when I packed up and moved to LA and just did the whole, okay, I'm gonna just take a stab at this, you know. So yeah, I understand that you've had enough of the stupidity already. All right, so then let's see. He should host, and oh no, wait, the other way around. He should host, and then oh, I just broke that. If I wait, then it goes into the bot playing it. I can't hesitate. I cannot hesitate. Okay, let's take one more stab at this. All right. Oops. All right, here we go. Online game. Over my second screen, online game, and I think it's what's up, you PC Spiax? What is PC Spiax? Okay, am I just too old? Or am I just not getting it? How's it going, man? Thanks for joining in. I appreciate that. Waiting for the host, so he sent. Yeah. You know what? It's still busted. Alright, you know what? I gotta call quits on that. I'm not gonna figure that out tonight. Oh. Alright, I do need these, don't I? Here you go. Hold on. Wait, what's that, Sonny? Huh? What's your PC specs? Ah, okay, yeah, fine, you're right. Yes, he's saying, what is your PC specs? To be honest, I don't know. It is a really nice box. I'm actually at a LAN cafe right now. I'm in LA, doing some freelance work in LA. So, yeah, it's I don't know. It's a really nice box. So I'm at a place here called Blue Screen Gaming. Really nice little game LAN here in Culver City, in Los Angeles. So I'm letting them help take care of me, and so I don't know. The machine I got at home is sort of like a roll-your-own kind of box that's served me well for a little while, but if you guys watch some of the streams that I've done when I'm back home, my machine has been locking up lately, so I am on the verge of pulling the trigger on a new box. The one I'm looking at right now is an i7 with a GeForce 1080. I found one that Newegg has that's a few $100 off, so it looks like it might be a good deal. 16 gig RAM, 240 SSD, so the OS goes on the SSD, and then I think it's a 1 terabyte, might be a 2 terabyte hard drive, 7200 RPM, maybe 1 terabyte. But so yeah, that might be my new machine if I pull the trigger on that. But let's see, I'm not sure. I can look. Yeah. He's on a decent gaming PC for some development. Yep, that's pretty much it. You know, I'm kind of the oddity here, you know, since I'm just streaming this stuff, but it's more than capable of taking care of what I'm working on right now. So, pretty much all set. But, you know what? Actually, I gotta say, this is kind of not going the way I wanted it to, so I may just fall back to what I know I need to do anyways. So if we come back here and let me look at my characters, objects, characters, Middle Ages, get myself a little bit of drink here. Alright, so I think we were looking, I think I was looking at Ogre, wasn't I? High res, let me check this animator. Whatever works, I've been considering streaming, but don't know what I'd be doing. Neither did I. I mean, this is, you know, mine started off as game dev, but the more I go, the more I keep sliding into movie talk. So, David, the guy that runs the shop here, he's been sort of like hinting that I had to just, like, do that. You know, it's kind of like, well, the point of this was to try and build some interest in the game, but, you know, I do talk a lot of movies, so I don't know, I might consider, I'd have to switch over from the science and technology and just go over into the just talking category, but that is sort of like the question mark, is what do you do? You know, I think just building the audience is the challenge, you know, and just finding something to actually talk about, but let's see, okay, that's good. Oh, let's see, I need to find, Taunt Idol is good. what I need to do is find out if my win idle. Yeah, he looks pretty stuck. So, did I actually not do that yet, or did I just not incorporate it yet? Let's find out. Go. Oh, you know what? Actually, I gotta. Uh-oh. I got caught flat-footed here because my USB memory stick, where all my scenes live. Forgot about that. Hey, hey, hey. Okay. Alright. Come on. Where is it? That's weird. I think the game dev is fine. Maybe once you have something going, then do like a weekly just talking. So here's okay. Let me run this by you. So I have a friend of mine. A friend of my wife's. It's a friend of hers named Sugi. Who she's a gamer, right? She used to work at Activision, right? And I'm trying to convince her to just like, you know, on the weekends, right? Just get together and just play video games for a little while, right? And just do it, right? And I told her I'd join in because she's like too apprehensive to jump in front of camera, but she's actually an outgoing person, so I think once she does it, she'll actually enjoy it. But I'm just trying to convince her that, I mean, you know, she's not one of like the poser people that like get up there and kind of like, I play video games, even though I have no idea what I'm doing. She's actual gamer. So, you know, that would be kind of cool, you know. Maybe something on the weekends. If not, then yeah, you're right. Maybe I'll just like do a little weekend thing where I just don't do the game dev stuff and just do outright movie talk, which I am going to do tonight. We are going to talk about some of that stuff. I'd be happy to talk more about your short if you want to as well, but I was also, if you remember, I did bring out the subject of homework. I'll let him actually sit down first. She's not one of those posers with cleavage. No, Nope, she is a true gamer, you know. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to see if I can twist her arm. When I get back home, I'm going to really see if I can convince her because, I mean, now that I've been doing this for, about a month and a half, I guess. I don't know, give or take, about a month and a half. It's really not that big a deal. I mean, once you kind of get in the swing of it, you know, it's not as much of an issue. So I think she'd have fun. But like I said, if nothing else, then I will resort to just going into the discussion of movies. Okay, so what I need to do is come over here, and I'm just gonna check to see if I was really tired, so I don't remember if I actually did or didn't. Hey. I don't remember if I did or did not actually finish doing. What work did she do for Activision? I'm probably gonna get this wrong. She was more of like management position. I think she was working in like online, online digital something or other. I don't know. I have to get clarification for it, but she actually left LA about 2 years ago, and my wife convinced her to pack up and come out to Vegas as well. So she's out there now. Yeah, it was cool, man. She was there at Activision for a while. But yeah, and she goes to Comic-Con, she does all that kind of stuff. You know, she's a big nerd. Although like my wife, she denies it. Even though you look at him, you know, and like talk to him for 5 minutes, and you go, nerd. Once again, I can say that because my wife doesn't watch any of this stuff, so I can call her a nerd, and there's no repercussions, unless you guys tell on me or something. But yeah. I think I'm safe. If my wife ever starts watching this stuff, actually, I would wonder why. Yeah, you know, it's funny. We've been together for a million years now, right? And it's one of the things when we were first together, and I would talk about like all the movie and TV stuff I was working on. It was always like, wow, you know. And now it's kind of like, you know, I tell her about all the movie stuff and the TV stuff I work on. She's like, and okay, so slightly harder to impress now. So I don't even try. You know, at no point in the last month and a half have I turned to her and said, "Hey, honey, you gotta like, you know, fire up Twitch and like, you know, watch what I'm doing." Yet no, not gonna happen. Not worth the effort. So I have not tried. She does her thing, I do mine. But she's still a nerd. I can say that. She's a nerd. Total nerd. Let's see. Alright, so I want to see a response. Let's see, I do win idle. Did I do it? There's nothing going on there. I did not do the win idle. There we go. So there's what I'm going to start with right now. Let me slap a texture on him. Oops. I was right the first time. Ogre texture. Let me get him textured up. Bump. Assets. Images. You see me pushing back here? You see, like, it's getting harder to read? the later in the day it goes, the worse my eyes are just kind of going, you can't even see anything now. Images. Where's my... Oh, Middle Ages. Yeah. I might have to bust out the glasses. Man, I'm, like, trying to fight it. I really want to... Because as soon as you start wearing those glasses... You know, I like to say it makes you look smarter, but... Yeah, that's not helping me much, so... No, it just makes you look older. Okay, so he's all textured up. Alright, I'm going to drop that to 0. That's 40. Alright. So, what was that? Oh, bear with me one sec here. Technical difficulties here. Unplugged. Wow, how did that happen? Hang in there. Alright. Oh! That's right, I need a new phone anyways. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. Okay, I'm back at it. Let's see. As usual, I have you on my second screen in my room, and I'm playing Warcraft on my laptop. Wow. Dude, you are the definition of multitasking. There you go. Nice. So, WoW. So is WoW still, like... I gotta ask, is WoW still pretty big? I mean, is there still a lot of people still playing it? Or is it starting to thin out yet? Yet now. I mean... I'm not sure if it still has the... I know they haven't, like, done all that much in terms of, like, sprucing it up, you know, but I don't know if it's just they have enough of a following that they could just keep going with what they got. Whoops. Push it up to 42. It's still a very popular game with a subscription service, and they keep releasing expansions. There you go. Okay, that's cool. I'm glad they're still, but let's see. I'm currently on a private server though. Really? Okay. Is that like legit with a private server, or is that it's just the way to do it? I didn't know you could actually do private servers for WoW, or is that just a hush-hush kind of thing? I think he's doing the happy dance here. Yeah, I'm sorry. My WoW knowledge is not all that solid. Like I said, I'm more of an offline gamer, so I don't know if WoW is set up for private servers, or if that's just someone's got something set up and you're jumping on it. Graph editor. Shoot. Alright. So I'm just doing a little idle animation here. And, oh, you know what? Why is that? I got like, let me clean this up first. I got a bunch of keyframes on here that I don't want to deal with. So, let me lock the geo first. Bring this back over. Kill these keys. Don't really care about them. There he goes. Alright. Grab that little pelvis there. There you go. Alright. So if you recall, I did talk about some homework on Wednesday night. I was saying that I was going to see if we could come up with a viable choice of a movie that was based on a video game that was actually quality. And I did do a little homework on that myself. I did go searching, and yeah, man, I came up Snake Eyes. That was interesting. I thought for sure at least I'd come up with something. Go, oh, I forgot about that. That was actually a really good movie. No, that's so I when in doubt, go to Wikipedia. So, as I mentioned, I have not seen the new Rampage movie, and I've not seen the new Tomb Raider reboot. So I don't know about those two. Rampage actually got some pretty good reviews. I had some friends on Facebook that were talking about it was, yeah, I'm old, so I'm still on Facebook. I know, I'm old. But I had some friends on Facebook that said it was actually a pretty fun movie. So, that may be a legitimate contender. But, I mean, once again, my point was not to just say, find a movie based on video game that doesn't totally suck, but I was saying that find one that was actually like really amazingly good, and I still don't think there is such a thing yet. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. Okay, we're going back to the WoW here. Let's see. Well, it's technically not legal to play on a private server. However, there are many private servers that shamelessly promote themselves and have thousands of players always online. It'll never go away. There you go, man. Go for it. That's cool. So, anyways, I guess the dream goes on that one day we will actually have this movie, yeah, like Wing Commander. Yeah, I think the video game was better than the movie. But I think, one of these days we'll actually have a movie based on video game that you can go, that's an amazing film. But definitely not yet. So, I stumped myself, man. I gave the homework saying let's go find a worthy movie of a video game, and I got nothing. So the search goes on. Let me fix this up. Yeah, that's still going. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, so he should be good now. Let's see what we got here. Yeah. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Yeah, something tells me that I don't think I'll be watching that one anytime soon. But yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, no. Did I hear about that? What? That is an actual movie, or? I mean, keep in mind that I used to work in a video store in the late '80s, and that's when adult films were still had like budgets. So I remember all the great adult films that were like ripping off the titles. And I assume that's like one of them. But no, I can't say that I've actually seen that one. But you know what? No matter what it is, I don't think it could be any worse than the Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo Super Mario Brothers movie. Ron Jeremy starred in a. Oh, now that is some fantastic stunt casting right there. Wow, the Hedgehog starring as Mario. And Nintendo bought the rights to it and hid it away. Oh, that's great comedy, man. See, and now that actually does make me almost want to see that just out of curiosity to see what Nintendo bought. Oh man, yeah. Ron Jeremy's actually been in a couple of things over the years as like a legitimate, quasi-legitimate actor, but yeah, something tells me that's a little different. Oh, that's funny. So yeah, I'm sure there's some that will probably say that one is a worthy candidate, but I don't think that still qualifies. I'm sorry, I'm gonna call a flag on that one. No. Yes. So the funny part is knowing Nintendo technically owns a porn movie. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Now with the Switch, you get a free copy of Fortnite with lots of little bonus items and a movie starring Ron Jeremy. Yeah, that would be an interesting development for sure. Oops. That would be funny. Okay. And there you go. So, as you've seen before, I'm just doing these like little simple cycles, animation cycles. I start off with the pelvis and just do those little standard bounce kind of stuff. I could do something more sophisticated if I wanted to, and I may come back and revisit the stuff if I get kind of nitpicky about it. But right now, this is good enough just to drop in, so I have something for the moment. Once again, I gotta clean up the curves, make the curves flow better. That's good, that's good. This one needs to be fixed. Whoa. Like that. Maybe give that a little more, actually, I'm gonna no. I was right the first time. Come out like that. Yeah. Alright. Drop this down. Like so. And I'll do the same with this guy. Like that. Alright. Oops. Let me do that one. And then finally, this guy. Did this as well. It's kind of the monotonous part of doing animation, when you have to go up and clean the curves, but you need to do that, otherwise it's just the animation won't flow, it'll bounce and stuff, but there you go. Yeah, and I think I'll add some life to the body, make that kind of bounce around a little bit too, so. And I'm just doing this every 6 frames. This is, once again, I would not do this normally. I would do it on, like, usually about every 3 or 4 frames for keyframes. But I'm just trying to make this go a little bit faster, so oops, let me make my sphere a little larger so I get a little more fine movement. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then back to here. There you go, and let me figure this out. Oops. Let me arc him back in. Bless you. Oops. Come back so we can circle like that. Yeah, like that. Ooh, that's a dip. So, need that to go higher, like that. Swing that out more like that. Just trying to get a nice circular motion. The head's kind of funky right now because there's no like secondary motion yet, but I'll fix that in just a minute. Just trying to get a little rotation on the upper chest there. There you go. You see what I'm talking about from that angle. That'll work. Okay. So I want to do the same. Now, get the head. Now I can do a little offset remote motion on him. Just doing this really quick, and then I'll go back and tweak it once I figure out if it's not arcing well. That might be a bit much. Yeah. I'm swinging out too far. So I can go frame by frame, or I can do it the faster way, which is to bring up my graph editor. Yeah, and then see right here, I'm just swinging too much. If I just grab these guys and scale them down like that, that should make it play a bit better. Ooh. Okay. that. See how that works. Yeah. There you go. What game consoles have you owned? Oh, jeez. Do you want to talk about what I have currently or what I've owned since I was a kid? I mean, I started with the Atari 2600, like most of the kids my age, but I've got a Xbox One and a PS4 that have minutes worth of playtime on it, which is really embarrassing. I do have a PS3, which I use pretty much to stream Netflix when my wife and I watch a movie. I'm fortunate enough to actually have a projector, so I have a nice little 10-foot wide screen. And my PS3, poor thing, has been relegated to just, playing Blu-rays that I rent from Redbox. and I have a 360 as well. Yay, PS3. Yeah. And I got a 360 as well, which I literally haven't fired up in a decade. It's one of the early ones. This is so pathetic. But I really don't have that much to play on anyways. I only have a couple of games. But it was of that Red Ring of Death generation. So now I'm so paranoid that if I turn it on, it's going to red ring on me. So I just don't even use it. Plays 3D Blu-rays, Netflix, works for me. Yeah. PC gamer for life. Yeah, and that's that is so true. I mean, mouse and keyboard, I mean, there's a reason why they're adding mouse and keyboard to the Xbox One, right? So speaking of that, you guys know anything about this? So I thought I heard a story recently, like they're going to do that, right? So now the question is how does that get integrated to the games? Do all the games have to come out with patches that accommodate the keyboard and mouse, or is that going to be something like line in the sand? All the games before that date won't have keyboard and mouse support, but games post then will have keyboard and mouse support. That's the only things my PS3 gets used for. Yeah, I was playing Ratchet and Clank a bunch, and then the previous Grand Theft Auto game, but unfortunately it is a bit of a dust gatherer, with the exception of when we watch movies, which we don't do that much anyways because we're both workaholics, my wife and I. Which isn't a terrible thing, I guess. To be perfectly honest, I'm pretty sure PS3 has native support for release for mouse and keyboard. Really? It's just that no game actually takes advantage of it, I'm guessing? So, I mean, you could actually do it if, but I don't know if any games... Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still technically a developer, although... I lost my login since I think I mentioned that, right? You have to have like a fixed IP address, and I signed up with just my home IP, and then my modem reset, so my IP changed, and I literally couldn't log back in. So in theory, I'm still a PlayStation developer, but I'm not exactly up to date. So I don't think I'll be trying to lead the investigation whether or not I could develop something for mouse and keyboard. But yeah, I mean, I would be hard pressed to. I mean, I never really. I can play platformers, right? The Ratchet and Clank style platformers with a joystick, right? And even like Uncharted and those kind of games, which I did. I finished Uncharted 1. I have Uncharted 1 through 4. When I got the PS4, I got Uncharted 4 for free. And I was like, and I went to Fry's and bought the 1 to 3 collection, the HD collection for like $15 or something like that. It's ridiculous. It's such a great value. Got it home, and I managed to actually, I think I mentioned before, I indulged in my birthday weekend. I give myself a whole weekend of game playing, and I finished Uncharted 1 and started the opening sequence of Uncharted 2, and that's where I'm still stuck. I haven't been able to go back to it. Let's see. It's going to be strictly up to the developer. So yeah, older games will not be updated unless the developer chooses to do so. For newer games, especially ones that are cross-platform or play anywhere titles, they'll probably support mouse and keyboard. That's to me, that's an exciting future. I honestly, if either PS4 or Xbox One started adding proper support, then I hate to say it, I may start slipping away from the PC gaming. I mean, because, you know, you have a console that does an insane amount of quality for cheaper than you're going to get a decent PC video game card. Did you purchase Autodesk or student free for 3 years? Did I purchase Autodesk? No, no, it's not purchased. It's like the I lease it for the year. So if you lease it, this is Maya LT, by the way. Alpha, by the way. How's it going, man? Hey, how's it going? Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chatting. But to answer your question, no. This is the I pay annually, so I get a slightly better deal. I got DC'd back now. Oh, really? Oh, that sucks. So yeah, it's my LT and seeing some game development. Oh, cool. Yeah, so I'm a big fan of I'm an animator by trade. I've been doing animation for 20 years. To be honest, I spent all day today working in Maya, but I don't use Maya at home because I'm doing game development. I'm not rendering anything, and Maya rents for $185 a month, which no, thank you. So I have my LT, which actually, because I pay annually, is more like about 20 bucks a month, which is this I can afford. So I think they do have student deals though, but this to me is just the best deal. I love animating in Maya, you know, especially that. And then of course I've shown this before, but you know, if I can bring this up, there you go. So I actually use the Logitech G13 not for video games. Never use it for video games, but I use it for Maya. I have all my keys configured, and it just makes me a peppy animator. Let's see. Well, yeah, if the next generation gives true 60 frames per second on games, yes, but right now it's still a hit or miss with the FPS. Yeah, you know, and they do that trick too, where they'll, I know, like, whatchamacallit, GTA was really bad, especially like on the PS3, where they would drop the resolution and then blow it up and kind of go, hey, look at that, look at the frame rate. Well, yeah, but it's like a postage stamp dragged out. That's not the same. Okay. We need to see PS5 or next Xbox. There you go. I had Autodesk Mudbox for a few years back. As I was a student, I was interested in game development and character design. Yeah, Mudbox is just that's sort of like ZBrush, right? I plead ignorant there. I think it's a modeling tool, similar to like Modo or ZBrush, I believe. As I've mentioned before, I am old. My modeling tool is actually right here. I use Lightwave. Oh, that's layout. Let me go back into Modeler. So, for those of you that are familiar with Modo, let me take you back, way back in time. Before Modo, there was something called Lightwave. The gentleman, Brad Peebler, who actually created the modeler in Lightwave, left it and created Modo. So what you see here is sort of the precursor to Modo, and I've been using this program for 20 years, and I still use it because most of the stuff I do in terms of modeling is just for game dev stuff, so I don't have to worry about being super high detailed. But let's see. Yep, exactly the same modeling and designs. Okay, so I was right about that. So let's see. What drives me insane is how many programs you can use to model things with by Autodesk. Yeah, that's true. Except Maya. only the really gifted or the really just self-destructive individuals model in Maya. I think that's a pain. I do not own ZBrush. I actually own 3D Coat. I'm not sure if you've heard of that one, but really love this. So I showed you Lightwave. I do love to model in Lightwave just because I've been doing it for so many years. But the UV tools in Lightwave, they were terrible 20 years ago, and unfortunately they're pretty much the same these days. So when it comes time to actually bust out the UVs, I actually have this program called 3D Coat, and I'm not sure how much it sells for. It usually goes on sale once a year. You saw that shortcut to Pornhub. Really? Where was that? I missed that one. Hold on. Okay, you're trying to get me in trouble, man. You and your sneaky wording and all that kind of stuff. You're just trying to get me busted. No, no, I don't do that on a computer as far as you know. Anyways, so 3D Coat. Let me check what they buy. See what it sells for these days. Whoa! Really? Wow. Okay, they've actually gotten up. So I'm not sure what the feature set is. I own the professional model. I got it a couple years ago, but I got on one of the super sales, and they do put them on sale from time to time, and I think it was like about 180 or 190. Really nice program. Unfortunately, I don't have it here, but once I get back home to Vegas, I will be happy to bust it out and show you. It's just the unwrapping tools in 3D Coat are fantastic. So I will model in Lightwave, and then I'll drag it over into 3D Coat and bust out the UVs there. I do not model in Maya or MyLT, primarily just because I'm old and stubborn and don't want to bother learning how to do it proper. So, and because, you know, I'm so comfortable with Lightwave, I just stick with that. So, and let's see, I was just doing this thing. This is the boring part, as I said. This is where I have to clean up the curves so I get myself a decent flow motion. But yeah. So Alpha, if you're still around, man. So you were saying you're schooling before, but you doing the game dev thing now, or what you doing? Are you just thinking about it, starting to play with it, obsessed with it like I am? What's your story, buddy? Talk to me. I need like one of those little devices so I can do like the cool voices. What is it? Indy, the guy that's on Indie Game, Indie Game Dev show. He has that cool little device, like gives all the scary voices and stuff. I need one of those. That's actually not bad for a first pass. A little bouncy there. Boom. Let me bring that down. Like that. That should be good enough. There we go. Okay, I think we have our idle animation. You know what? I could, since, why not? I can get a little secondary going with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, it just looked kind of nice. So, just kind of like that. Hey, is Lightwave easier to use than Blender in your opinion? To be honest, probably not. The reason I'm comfortable with Lightwave is because I literally have been using it for decades. For assets, character modeling, hard surfaces. That's a good question. To be honest, and the other thing too is for Blender, I have not played with Blender for over a decade. When I went into a crisis, because Lightwave animation tools, as I mentioned before, are just they're terrible. So and then for a while I was using XSI, which I really liked animating in XSI until Autodesk bought it and killed it, and that was the end of that, right? So I was so frustrated. I wasn't going to buy Maya. Back then you could actually buy Maya. There's a radical concept, eh? But then I was looking for an alternative. So I downloaded I downloaded Blender, played with it for a little while, and I was just so confused by the way it was structured. And I mean, it just seemed like there was 20 ways just to select a menu, and I played with it for a day or two, and I threw in the towel. And then I went to another program called Project Messiah, and I animated in that for a little while. And actually used it for a couple of TV shows too. Let's see. I made some levels in Unreal Engine back in the day when I was depressed after a breakup and jobless and penniless. Collector's Edition of Unreal Tournament 3 had a fantastic beginner's tutorial on all things level design. Scripted levels, or you mean maps? Level design is great. Yeah, you know what? I totally agree. I think there's a lot of people that got started just by doing level designs, right? And I think there's plenty of people that end up with like legitimate jobs and different companies, right? That started off just doing that. So I mean, you know, hats off for doing that. You know, I think it's a great way to get familiar with the tools and kind of branch out from there. Definitely. Sorry, maps, I guess. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, that's still, dude. I mean, you know, you guys can tell me, but I think there's plenty of people that have gotten jobs from doing that. But that was actually a really helpful tutorial and base for understanding 3D. Yeah, yeah. My introduction to 3D. You know, I'll bring it up. Check this out. You want to see where I got started? Back in the Amiga days, there was this thing called Videoscape. Videoscape 3D. Check this out, man. Wow, can I even like see if there's any videos or images? So Videoscape 3D. This is what it looked like. This is there was no WYSIWYG. There was no interface for moving the cameras and stuff. Excuse me. Videoscape 3D is the precursor to what became Lightwave, right? And then Lightwave started off in the Video Toaster, and that's when we first started getting these environments where you could actually physically see the camera. But when I was playing with Videoscape, it was literally you had to bust out graph paper and draw the graph paper and then write down the coordinates and then in a notepad type in the XYZ of all those points and try and make a shape. That was ugly, man. The most I ever did was I created a TIE fighter in wireframe, and I had to do like a barrel roll with a star field around it, and that's about as much as I ever got in Videoscape 3D. But okay, let's see. How's it going? Let's see. That's a great accomplishment. Was it using UDK3 in a computer? And I don't use it much in my career, but a few times I have used Google SketchUp to show designs as a home builder to others. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Actually, I think SketchUp is a fine tool. Even I've heard that in some of the visual effects houses that I've worked at, they've mentioned stuff getting thrown together quickly, buildings and stuff in SketchUp, and then they'll use that as their template and build more better versions of it off of that. So I think I haven't played with SketchUp myself, I'll totally confess that, but I think it is actually a viable tool, at least as a building block, you know, as a rough tool just to get things started. Alright, I need that to go down here. Just so I know some fine furniture makers use it too to design furniture. SketchUp, yeah, I totally. Well, I mean, you know, geez, man, kind of like Blender, you can't beat the price, right? And even if you don't use it for finished product, but just something just to get the ball rolling, why not, right? Totally. But it's very simple, yet pretty powerful. Yeah, I believe it. All right, I need that. Start coming back there. Come back there. That's still not going to work yet. Like that. Boom. I'm trying to get a nice little overlap action here, and I'm totally messing it up at the moment. It's hitchy. Boom, boom. It's right there. Smooth it out like that. There we go. So now I have nice little, so this is secondary action, this is overlap. So the idea is that this is kind of falling behind the motion of the head, and you get that nice little play action. Yeah, I can make it go left and right, but you know what? I'm just going to go with that. I think that's plenty. I have a feeling you may be talking about this guy. I'll let you click on that link. Okay. So, yeah, I think I'm going to mark this guy done. Unlock him so I can do that. And I will save. And I will export him. Export selection. Kick him over and directly into Unity. So let me come back over here. Boom, boom. Assets. And this would be objects. Middle Ages. Yeah, I keep doing that, man. I'm like, the screen's too close. I have to like lean back so I can read it. Uh-oh. Oops. I want objects, characters. There we go. Middle Ages. And that was the ogre. And let me make sure I do the right one. I don't want to overwrite something. It says win idle. Export selection, overwrite, done. Beaumont, you don't need a drawing background, no, but fundamental knowledge in traditional drawing, maybe some anatomy courses will help if you're going to create characters. Hard surface modeling, not so much. I know the answers because I used to ask the same thing quite a long time ago. Alright, pardon me. Get a little thirsty here. Gotta fill my drink up here. Sorry about that, guys. So, alright. We are at the weekend. You guys got anything going interesting for the weekend, guys? Doing anything fun? Besides gaming. Alright, just filling up the drink here. This is vodka. Yeah, sure. Let's see. No, I listened to hours and hours and hours of that guy's voice. This is not the same tutorial, however, it looks very similar in concept. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I'm joining this conversation like I'm actually a part of it. I'm just like, I'm the doofus that's standing there, you know, at the party. Two guys are talking, I just kind of walk up and kind of go, hey, yeah, no, that's an interesting point. I have no purpose in this conversation, so I'll let you guys talk. Alright. So, he's good. It looks very comprehensive as well. Yeah, see, I did it again. See? At this point, you tell the third guy in the conversation just to go in the corner. So I think I should give up. You think you should give up? Or I should give up? Yeah. I don't even know if I'm in this conversation or not. I'll just keep working. Alright. So he's good. Let me see who I should be working on next. So let me see if I have an animation for... Nope. Lose idle. So you can see how he just kind of stops. Boom. And he's dead there. Okay. So let me add some animation to the lose idle animation. Sorry, boss. Was wondering if I should start animation at a later age. Dude. Absolutely. Dude, there is no later age. I mean, if you're saying, like, you should wait to your later age, or if you're saying that you're at a later age and want to do it, man. I was 30, man. Now, in my case, it was because I had to wait for the stupid technology to get invented. You know, it's not my fault. My parents got me, I'm about to be 27. Oh, jeez, no, man, you're fine. No, I literally... like I said, it literally was a case for me that I had to wait for something to come along. You know, I mean, when Lightwave came out in 1996, I bought it for the PC and immediately started making animated short films with it. And that's, I did that for a couple of years, and I made a short film that I threw out to some film festivals, got a little bit of notoriety, and then I packed up and moved to California and just said, hey, I'm an animator, right? Now, at that point, I was literally 30. So, no, you are not too old. Not at all. It's more of a challenge now. You know, like I said, you know, a couple decades ago, it was easier to walk in a facility and go, hey, I'm an animator because I say I am. But, no, I mean, definitely if you're passionate about doing it, trying it out, I'd say jump in it. I mean, it is kind of a quirky kind of thing to do. You know, and I mean, it is a challenge, and it is something that is difficult. There are some people that I've seen that has started doing animation and just have a natural gift for it and just a knack right from the get-go. I didn't. For me, it was a lot of trying to figure out what was wrong. Where do you think I should start? That's a fantastic question. Let's see. Well, you know, it depends. Let me find some of the books. You know what? Let me think on that. I gotta find these. There's some great classic animation books. I gotta find. I gotta remember his name. It's the gentleman that actually did the animation for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And once again, my he has an animation book that talks about the principles. Was it? Yeah, Edward Williams. Richard. There we go. Richard Williams. Hold on. Check this out. I think this, there you go, the animator, there it is, the Animator Survival Kit. If you want, this is the equivalent of Cliff Notes. If you want to put a toe in the water, this is a great way to get some very, very basic fundamentals. I mean, it's anyone that takes any kind of animation class, you're gonna get told to buy this anyways. So, are you set on 2D or 3D? Oh, that's a totally legitimate question as well. Obviously, 2D, you're gonna be much more hands-on. With 3D, you're using an animation program like I'm doing with like Maya or something like that. But if you're just interested in the fundamental, and this book in particular would still apply to either 2D or 3D, so there's no way to go wrong with this. But the Animator Survival Kit, this is absolutely a great way to start. It is so good about showing you some of the fundamentals of animation. You know, it'll introduce the concept of timing and, you know, the basics of squash and stretch, you know, overlap, all kinds of the basics. So highly recommend that one for sure. But yeah, Archstone actually does have a valid question. If you're looking at 3D, then you really need to consider what kind of animation programs you'd like to try. If you're just getting started, definitely look at Blender. You know, we mentioned before, Blender's free, so there's no way to go wrong with that. And it's been around long enough that there's a ton of tutorials to get you started on that. I mean, I'm a neophyte myself when it comes to Blender. I have not used it. But if you're talking about 2D, probably 2D. Oh, okay. I want to make action RPG games, but I wouldn't mind an animation short film. Dude, absolutely. Then there are check out Spriter. I'm not sure what it sells for these days, but I'm sure they probably have like a light version. I know that Spriter gets sold on Steam really cheap sometimes, but Spriter is a really nice 2D animation program. Oh, look at that, and it's on sale. There you go. And I think there's also some freebie versions as well, but I think Spriter is definitely one of the more famous ones. I know that actually, and to be honest, Unity is desperately trying to integrate some better 2D animation tools in their tool set. It's really kind of basic right now, so I wouldn't even come close to suggesting it, but I think in the future, Unity will actually be a potential viable choice for doing 2D animation that you could either use in a video game or even do an animated short. You know, you can export that stuff out as an image sequence. You were thinking of learning Python. Interesting. Python for which game engine? Just Python in general, or is there some game engine that uses Python? Because I am not familiar with that. Familiar with Python myself. I played with a little bit decades ago when I had my first job here in LA, when I was a data wrangler at ImageWorks. I had to learn some of that, but man, just really cursory. Some super minor things. Let's see, I want when idle animation. Sorry, I'm talking too much, working too little, aren't I? And why do I not see curves? Uh-oh. Because I loaded my FBX again. I did that again, didn't I? I was doing that before. I'm talking and not paying attention what I'm clicking on, am I? Alright, I want to go to my scenes. I go characters, Middle Ages, and I'm going to the ogre, and these are the taunts, and this is idle. Oh no, not taunts, response. Sorry. When idle. Found it. Finally. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're thinking about doing like learning 2D and integrating Python with it somehow, which I mean might be possible, but I'm not sure. I know where you're coming from. Either pick Game Maker, which is super beginner friendly and don't need any coding knowledge, and is a 2D engine, or try Unity 2D and start learning some C#. You know, and then also with Unity, right now, you can do it if you don't want to do any coding. Of course, the option here. Can I go full screen? Hey, check this out. I just went full screen on my store, which is going to take forever to load. Playmaker. Now, I mean, obviously the base version of Unity you can get for free. You know, and you don't really have to pay until you actually make significant amounts of cash. Uh, Playmaker, oh wow, is it on sale? Look at that! Wow, that is a fantastic deal. Playmaker is on sale right now for $22.75. If you want an inexpensive way to jump into Unity and not write a single line of code, then Playmaker is the way to go. Playmaker works in a nodal kind of fashion, like this, you know, for controls. So you can actually do some robust stuff. As I've mentioned in the past, I will bring it up again because I think it's worth mentioning, is this. What is it? It's called Firewatch? Yeah, so the game Firewatch, right? So this was actually not written, but it was actually created in Unity and used developed primarily with Playmaker. Everything's on sale. Bank balance of -10. Okay, but then if you wait, one of the reasons this might be on sale is because they're about to get undercut. Unity announced at Unity Unite just a few weeks ago that they're actually working on their own visual editing tool. So it probably won't be until 2019, but there will be an upcoming version of Unity that will allow you to create some content like this without writing a single line of code as well. So, okay, so in that case, I will put that away for the moment. So, I know what that's like, man. I know what that's like, you know. Can't be out of money. I still got checks left. Yeah, so I remember those days. Let's see. You can find free alternatives for things. This 2D game is going to have old school sprites or digital 2D Photoshop looking characters. Yeah, that's also a good question. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know off the top of my head the names of some of the 2D tools that are free, but if you do a quick Google search, I'm sure you can actually come up with some. Oh wait, I did win. I didn't lose. That's what I didn't do. Don't save. Oh yeah, I started it. That is definitely in progress animation there. Cool. Okay. But yeah, if you do a quick Google search, I think you'll be able to come up with a couple of probably decent 2D programs that allow you to create some 2D animation stuff without actually having to pay. But yeah, sorry, I don't know off the top of my head because I really haven't done too much in terms of 2D creation. I'm so reliant on 3D stuff because I've been using it for way too many years. So it's easier for me just to create all my content. Even if I'm doing 2D stuff, I can still do it as 3D and render it as 2D sprites. You know, I mean, the downside of that is I spend a lot more time in the setup process, obviously. You know, but I mean, once it's actually done, you know, it's easy to do a ton of tweaks and that kind of stuff. So, once again, just making some idle animations. These are the characters that you use as mascots that come in at the beginning and the end of the game when you play online matches, and you can choose your response, and if you win or lose, then they go into these idle animations. This is obviously the lose pose because you can tell he looks pretty downbeat. I spent most of my time reading manga or watching anime. There you go. Which is why I wanted to get into animation. Fair enough, hey. I was a Star Wars kid, man. I grew up, I think I mentioned before, man, I was at the sweet age for Star Wars when it hit the theaters. Yeah, I'm that old. Yes, I am that old. So for me, it was all about going into the visual effects stuff, which, you know, I also want to do the computer stuff, so it was just a matter of waiting around long enough for the technology to get where I wanted to be so I could do all this stuff. Now it's here, and now I'm doing both, man. I still do the animation work. I still work in visual effects, freelance. I look 23. Thank you. Yeah, that's because you don't see me in person. Oh, wait a second. Okay. Yeah, it's all the good living that I've been doing. I look 23. I am definitely stealing this webcam. If this webcam makes me look like I'm 23, this thing's going home with me. Thing is, you kind of need to know these answers, or you'll just kind of wing it as you learn. I don't think that's such a terrible thing. I mean, that's kind of what I did. I mean, you know, if you want, I can dig out. I have it at home. I can dig out my first animated short film, and I intentionally wrote stuff that I had no idea how to do, so I could learn that kind of stuff. I mean, if you're talking about pursuing something only to find out that after you do it for a long time that you don't want to do it, okay, that's another thing. But I mean, I mean, I went through the same thing, man. I mean, I was in film production for years, and in my case, that was not because I didn't love film. I did, but what I really want to do is what I'm doing now, and once again, it's just a matter of just waiting for the stuff to become available. And here I am. Woohoo! Finally. Must be a special webcam. Yes, I have the special make him the old line from Tootsie. Yeah, we need to make her look a little more attractive. How far can you pull back? How do you feel about New York? Or how do you feel about New Jersey? I blew that line, didn't I? Then a program that can do pixel and modern 2D art animation. Try out Krita. Is it Krita? Krita? Is probably the best Photoshop alternative, and it's free. Hey, there you go, man. There you go. There's a fine suggestion then. That works. Boom. And do it over this way. Oh, it might be too far. Let the hands kind of go off to the side. Oops. Doing these on the 6s, as I mentioned before. Oops. There you go, and have it start to come back in. Oh, this is going to be too much. Alright, I'm going to have to tweak this a bit, but it's a good start. I need to just let it start coming art back in at that point. Definitely come back in there, like that. Boom. Ooh, not pretty yet. That's ugly. Okay. Nope, that's still ugly. Oh, okay. Let me try the other direction. Let me let it lag behind, like this. And then swing out as it's coming back. See if that's better. Better, but not there yet. That's still an improvement. Alright, I still need him to come back sooner, so that's a nice... Let him come like that. There we go. That's still a little poppy there. I think doing it... Yeah, it's kind of coming up and then going right back down, so I need to fix that. Let that swing back down. You meant at alpha. Sorry. Both purple names. Yeah, that's alright. Who knows? Maybe Zealous Youth wants to jump into 2D development as well. He's back there somewhere, I think, actually. He's nice enough to actually watch my feed while he's probably playing Overwatch or something right now. Crushing it. Oh, I can't do that. I gotta come in, let it come out. There he goes. Alright, hands are good. Let me add some life to the body. So, as I was saying, this is after he's lost, he does like a response animation, and then he goes into this idle animation, which just kind of sits here until you click back to the main menu. So, I've done so much research, it's ridiculous. I don't know why I haven't started on anything serious. I know why, man. That's one of the hardest things. I mean, just getting the ball rolling. I totally understand where you're coming from with that, I mean, it's, to me, initially starting it, but once you get into it, and if it starts to click, then you really, then it just starts to go. But, so getting that initial start is always a challenge, I think. Unless you really have some very specific idea and you're just dying to do it, you know, but then at that point you're kind of like, you have like a muse and inspiration. But, I mean, if you have nothing specific, then, yeah, it's always a challenge to get that initial push going. At least I think so. I mean, I'm always full of ideas, just not many of them are, like, very great. There we go. Oops. That's popping right there at the end. Alright. There we go. Alright, need to clean that up. Would you recommend character or map design? First. Arcazone can answer, but I think my 2 cents would be, it depends specifically on what you find interesting. You know, I mean, if you like the idea of creating these levels for people to interact with, then yeah, map design is definitely a great way to get started. But I mean, if you're oh, okay, thank you. But I mean, if you're interested at all, I think if you're interested in like pursuing it as like something like a paid job in the future, then I think character design will open up more opportunities for you. Just because that can branch into so many different tools and so many different avenues. Whereas map design, I think you're a little more constrained. I like he thinks it's his. Dude thinks he runs a stream, man. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll just sit here and animate my stuff. You guys do what you want. I'm not here. Talk amongst yourselves. So conceited. Oh yeah, that's me, man. Well, see that I'm just being an animator. If you knew, animators are supposed to always be like super conceited, arrogant jerks. So there you go. I'm just living up to my name, man. But yeah, so anyways, you can jump in too, obviously. You can put in your 2 cents. I mean, you may disagree too, right? Let me know what you think, man. I think character design, I think is a more bigger challenge to try and jump into it. I think map design is something that you could probably get more traction faster, but, you know, I'm not sure where to go or where to start. I wanted to model characters. Oh, okay, well. Yeah, then. Oh, what's a good place to start? If you're talking about in terms of tutorials, there should be a bunch out there to get started. If you're talking about inspiration, I think then you should just look at what you like, you know? I mean, that's totally me. I mean, you know, once again, I keep harping back on my first animated short film, but for me, it was just, I was inspired by, I love Chuck Jones, man. I am a Chuck Jones fanatic. All the old classic Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers stuff, Tex Avery, all those guys, but Chuck Jones in particular. So when I decided to go do my first short film, I just did something that was very Chuck Jones-esque, right? Inspired by that kind of stuff. We are all here because we appreciate you sharing your knowledge and insights, so thanks and keep it up. Oh, hey, cool. And actually, some of it might even be not totally useless. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I will run my mouth if I'm not careful. But yeah, no. So definitely, dude, Zealous Youth, man, offer your advice as well. You know, I mean, especially if you have knowledge with what you've been doing with the level design stuff. Tell them what you think, man. Do not be shy. You must share. Share. Really need that voice changer thing. That would be cool. Ooh, this is kind of ugly. Might bring that down a little bit. Soften that a bit. Let's see what we got here. Wow, that's really hitting right there, isn't it? I don't think I own the stream. I'm just excited. Oh, no, I think he was talking about me. I think he was making fun of me, saying he thinks that I own the stream. He was just being funny. No, dude. No, please. Absolutely, man. I'm totally happy to share my thoughts, and I mean, if you guys want to talk this stuff, jump in, man. So no, I think he's sitting right back there, man. He's just I am like within about 4 feet of being in like the the spitwad range. I think I could like get about halfway, but I don't think I see that green back there. There he goes. See, there you go. Busted. There he is. So he's just giving me a hard time, man. He's just trying to give me trash. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, but that's what the joke's on him because he doesn't know what I did to his seat before he got here yet. But oh wait, he didn't hear that, right? He wasn't paying attention. So never mind. Moving on. Hey. Oh no, it'll dry eventually. No, no, dude. Arkansas, man, definitely, man. Pitch in. I'm happy to offer my thoughts, and I love that you guys are also offering your thoughts as well. So, absolutely. And I mean, anyone that wants to do this kind of stuff, I have so much fun doing this, man. Anyone else that wants to jump in, I will not be the person that discourages. I will be the one that will be honest and real about how much of a challenge it can be, but I will never say don't do it. I mean, it's I'll tell you. Okay, so I'll tell you a funny story. I mean, because I really do live and breathe this stuff. I don't think I've told this story before, and if I have, I apologize if I'm repeating myself. But so when I first got my job, when I first moved to LA 20 years ago, I got my job at Sony ImageWorks, and as I mentioned, I didn't get a job as an artist. I got a job as a data wrangler. I needed the work, and I was still having a hard time convincing any people that I could actually do animation. So I took the job because I needed to pay rent, right? So, but we have like the monthly get-togethers, and there was a guy that was an animator there, and he and I had been in a film festival together. Both of us had animated short films. Once again, I had done animated films back then, but I still couldn't get the jobs yet. But I went up to him, and I was like, hey, man, so what are you working on? And he goes, what do you mean? He talks about the movie he's working on. I went, no. I mean, like at home, man. When you get home, what are you working on? And he goes, nothing. Man, I go home and I watch TV. And I was just like, I was blown away because I'd work all day and I'd go home and I'd go work on my own stuff, I mean, the day job I do because it pays the bills, even when I'm doing animation, and I love what I do, I mean, the job I got going on right now is cool, but I have no problem with, like, doing a whole day of work and then going and working on my own stuff because I just, I'm crazy about this stuff, man. So, anyways, the point is like, be passionate about it and don't be afraid to talk about it in here. And I'm chatting away. Sorry. Whatever inspires you the most. Yeah, see? That's what I'm saying. If you love the level design you were learning, just go with that and see where it takes you. Get better at it, but people love to know what you specialize at. It'll basically be what you makes you stick out, whether it's characters, assets, and that's very true. I mean, just personal experience. When I started here a couple decades ago, generalists were very, very common, right? I mean, there was no such thing as a modeler, animator, lighter. You just did everything, right? Back those days, they hand you a shot, and you would go off and do the shot and hand it back to them, which you don't see that much. I mean, Asylum still works that way, but most places are very specialized. So you will actually kind of get pigeonholed in the task that you're best at, I think. And totally true. You have that kind of passion for anything, people will see it eventually, and you will be successful at it. Getting Mudbox for modeling, firstly, or ZBrush or something else when I have the funds. I would say, just if you're just starting out, man, start off with Blender. Blender is totally free, right? And it is a modeling tool. There's obviously all programs are going to be different, right? But there's nothing that can't. Once you get the general gist of it, it's sort of like learning a language. Once you start learning other foreign languages, it's easier to learn others because the basics are always pretty much the same. So I would highly recommend. I mean, if you don't want to start with any expense, start with Blender. If you're interested in doing something that's more like organic, like you're talking about with like Mudbox or ZBrush, look at ZBrush Core. It is a sort of like a slightly neutered version of ZBrush, but it's because ZBrush by itself I think literally sells for like $700, something insane like that. But if you look at ZBrush Core, you will not get the feature set, obviously, but you also don't get the price tag. I think ZBrush Core sells for like 150 bucks. Which I mean, still, 150 bucks is still 150 bucks. It's a lot of money, but it is something that would allow you, if you really want to get into something more of like organic modeling, that might be something. Yeah, Blender is very popular. Blender. Yeah, you know, I mean, and if I was just getting started, if I was, you know, a young kid jumping in this day and age, I would definitely be all over Blender for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Mudbox for a year is pretty cheap compared to what it used to be. Yeah, well, here with the ZBrush Core but Mudbox is still a rental thing, right? I mean, you get it, like you said, for a year, but then once the year's up, boom, you lost it. With ZBrush Core, let me see, store. Let me see what they're actually selling it for these days. Not ZBrush, ZBrush Core. Pardon me, excuse me. Okay. Let's see. Alright, I don't even see a price tag. There. If you have to ask, is that what's going on here? Do you guys see a price tag anywhere? Well, as I said, I mean, you can hunt it down, but I think it was like 150 bucks. Arkansas, you answer that, buddy. That one's for you. I'm just gonna sit here and animate slowly. Alright, so that's good. Let me get the head motion going here. Do you stream much? I just found you recently. Are you talking about me or yeah, if you're talking about me, yes, I just started about a month and a half ago. I was kind of ping-ponging between different days. I'm actually based. I live in I live in Las Vegas, but I've been doing animation for 20 years, and I pick up some animation work, freelance work occasionally, and I picked up some in LA, where I am right now, which obviously now I have like day hours, so I changed my schedule up. So now I switch to Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I work at the place that I'm doing my freelance work right now, and then I come over here to this nice place called Blue Screen Gaming here in Culver City. Follow. Thank you, man. Thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate that. So, did it come up? Did not? Ah, it's so sluggish, man. Okay. But yeah, so I switched my schedule to Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so that way I can make sure I get Blue Screen Games. There's my blatant plug. This great little gaming cafe here in Culver City. So the place I'm working at is a facility called Zoic Studios that's literally just a few miles away. So I'm able to finish up work and then run over here and set up shop and do this. I've been here for a few weeks. I've been streaming for a month and a half. And then I got another week worth of freelance work, and then I pack up and go home to LA. Sorry, I go back to Vegas. Oh, there it goes. Thanks for the follow, man. Thank you. It was slow on the uptake, but it finally showed up. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah. So I'm here for another week for the freelance work, and then I pack up and I go home. But I'm probably gonna keep the schedule. At first I was not too sure if I was actually going to find anyone that's actually hanging out at these hours. I know daytime hours, I think, have a lot more viewers, but just this is better for me, my own personal schedule, so I can work in the day and do all that and then just jump on at night. It's just a lot of struggle. Born and raised in New York City. Some screenwriting experience, always been interested in game dev. And you know, it's never too late to start, man. You know, if you want to play with it, definitely. So, anyways, just to finish my thought there. So, yeah, I've been month and a half Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, I start up at 8 o'clock and then go to 10. Well, I was supposed to go to 10, but if you guys hang out with me, then I go longer. Just because we start talking. Usually we end up talking movies. There's another fellow that jumps in from Japan, Arya JP, that usually gets me talking movie stuff, and then we go right down that rabbit hole, and I get completely distracted and talk movies, which I love to do, man. I'm a movie guy, I'm a video game guy, and once again, I'm kind of combining both in my life, which I'm thrilled to do. But that's it. For those guys, actually, I guess I should actually show you the game. So, because there's probably a couple people that are hanging out now that hadn't seen it before. So, if you've seen it before, I'm sorry, it's going to be a repeat. But for anyone else that's just come along for the first time, Volley Village is a game I've been working on for actually a couple of years now. But imagine Angry Birds meets Battleship is the best way to describe it. It's going to be an online cross-platform game. Going to start off with mobile at first, and I'll probably expand into desktop. Free to play. So, the gist of it is kind of Angry Birds, like I said. So you drag your finger back to target, and the objective is you're going to try and take out the bouncing buildings, which I just missed. I'm terrible. So the bouncing buildings actually... Oh, I'm doing terrible here. There he goes. So the bouncing buildings actually power the force field. So if you knock out all those bouncing buildings, force field goes away, and these power-ups pop up occasionally. If I hit it, there he goes. So now my buildings are covered in fog for 15 seconds. You see I got a little timer here. So for 15 seconds... The opponent has no idea where they're shooting. They're just going to shoot randomly, and you can see how he's just missing now. Oh, a terrible shot. And then you can also send out villagers to repair the buildings, but the trade-off there is when you do that is now the reload times. You can see my reload meter on the side here. I have all 4 of my guys here that are reloading, so it goes very fast. He's got 2 out that are repairing buildings, so he's actually going twice as slow in his reloads. And then I just hit a power-up that just put him to sleep. I'm going to be a jerk. I'm going to, like, hit their building and make them start over again. There you go. So that's generally the idea of the game, in case you guys hadn't seen it before. I'm going to just finish them off here. So this is a local version of it, but you can actually play online. It has a few more bells and whistles, but I'm going to finish them off here. Boom. There it goes. And you can see now the island's going to sink. And as it goes, you can see the sharks turn around and start chasing the little guys away. There they go. The wizard, of course, goes above the water because he's a wizard. You know, he's too cool. He has his wand. And then the sharks are just down there. So, and I say it's Angry Birds meets Battleship, and the reason I say that is because you can actually customize the layout. So you can actually put the buildings wherever you want. If you have a perfect idea of where the building should go, boom, you could just do that. Or you could just randomize it, or you can do it one by one, right? If you know the perfect layout, you could just set them all up there. And then once you get them in place, you just hit save. Boom. There you go. And it's saved. And you unlock the different villagers. I have them unlocked in this one. So you can put the guys where you want. And then you have different skill sets. You can see, put the orc in here. And then you have the mascot character. And that's what I was working on. Because you play these online games. And... I'll do an online one where I actually play against the computer here. It'll come up in just a second. And it starts off, and this is what I'm working on right now. The animation I'm doing is, so you have these, it starts off with these taunt animations where they're just kind of messing with each other. And bear with me, I'm going to go ahead and play one more game through so you can see. And after the game is over, you can choose your response. And you can say if you want to be respectful, disrespectful, or just kind of neutral, if you're just like kind of bleh. So let me do this real fast. I'm going to just kind of burn through this. The green arrow that just popped up here on the right side, this guy, that's actually a power-up that makes you go twice as fast, but considering I'm crushing the AI, I'm not even bother going for it. So now he's actually able to reload twice as fast and rebuild twice as fast for 15 seconds. But it doesn't matter because I'm still going to destroy him. There he goes. Got one more. Oh, he got a building rebuilt. So when you rebuild a building, obviously then the force field will come back up. But then I knock it down, the force field goes down again. So, and game over. There. So now, at this point, you can choose your reaction. I'll be a jerk. I'll say disrespectful. And then we have the response, and you can see how they... Oh! It did work. Okay, good. And this is what I was working on right now. The animation, I have most of them in place, but some of the idle animations I'm still missing. So that's what I'm working on, trying to get those finished. So that, in a nutshell, is Volley Village. That is the game I've been working on for way too long. Getting close to, I do have it, if you're interested and want to give it a try, I do have a version if you're an Android user. You can actually go to Google Play and look for Volley Village and download a beta version right now, which has pretty much most of what you see here intact. Getting really close to doing a proper beta version, which will have everything in place, but right now it's just, the key things I'm still missing are a few of the animations for the mascots, as I was talking about. And the other thing I want to add, which I've not implemented yet, is little customizable icons right here. So you'll be able to unlock these icons, and just through the gameplay, you'll actually unlock more of them, and then you can personalize your own kind of setup, choose which character you want to represent you. And I have like these different poses. I've been working on that before. If you've seen some of the previous broadcasts, you see I've done that as well. So this is pretty much the big thing that I'm still missing, because these other things are pretty much in place, right? The villagers, you can choose that. You unlock these through gameplay over time. And then launchers, you can also choose which launcher you want. You can see these are locked right now. Boom. But you start off with just the plain old catapult, and then you can unlock a Cyclops, a Kraken, or the Dragon, and you can see when you play with them, you get bonus coins. So there's incentive to actually upgrade to these guys. It doesn't change the gameplay, by the way. In case you're wondering, it's not a pay-to-win game. I hate those, and I'm not going to make one myself. This is much more of a cosmetic change. If you even look back here in the villagers, yeah, there is a slight difference, for some of these characters, but it is super minor. It's not one of those things that if everyone's using these other characters, they're going to have a big advantage over you. It doesn't play that way. I'll have different, after release, I'll actually create different island themes, entirely different themes and different island themes. Those will have better skill sets, but then the idea is that you will be playing with those other islands until you've leveled up. So you'll always be playing someone that hopefully will be at your same skill level, which means that no matter who you're playing or how many times you play, hopefully you're going to play someone that's on the same level as you. So that's the objective, and that is the game in a nutshell. So, and as I was doing this, as I told you, this is one of the little idle animations. This is, you saw the response before where the two Gimli-like dwarf characters were doing their response to each other, and then one is happy, so he's proud like that, and the other one kind of bends over and is sad. So this is Yoga character, and in this case, he's lost, so he's kind of sad, and not quite done. The body's okay, but I'm working on the head motion right now, which is not good. So let me finish cleaning that up, and I will mark him done as well. So just doing simple like arc motions. These are just simple idle rotations. It's the same thing you've seen in video game characters for for a million years now. Not doing anything that sophisticated. Actually, I think I have like a Z rotation there. Ooh. Huh. Let's see. Comes up, comes around. That's better. Alright, and I probably have to clean the curve a little bit. So let me get the graph editor up. Boom. Yeah. Bring that down a little bit. And then the curves, the ins and outs, I have to make sure that it has a nice flow so it doesn't pop. I have a top-of-the-line computer, and I use it for Twitch and YouTube. I know how that feels, man. That's funny. Okay, I'm gonna drop this down. Yeah, I'm sure I mentioned before, but I literally have, thanks to like Humble Bundle and Fanatical with their game collections, I literally have like a few hundred games on Steam just waiting to be played, and I never get around to it, So yeah, I have a very nice rig at home, except for the fact that it likes to crash on me sometimes, but it's a nice piece of hardware that I use to make mobile games that run on Android and iOS, so I'm not exactly taxing the system at all. Ooh, that's a bit of a pop, isn't it? Look at that. Bounce, boom. There it is. So it go like that. Let it come out more. Come back. Like that. Just trying to avoid that pop there. It's still popping. Look at that. That's interesting. Did I miss something in my curve there, maybe? Let me bring the graph editor back up. Did I close it? There it is. Interesting. So let me... I might be fighting the body here. I might have to go back and actually tweak the body animation a little bit. I may have done that poorly. I did it 1.1 to get into tower defense games for mobile to make. Yeah, I think that's a crowded market though, you know. I mean, the problem with doing a tower defense game is that, you know, unless you're making, Plants vs. Zombies, you know, I mean, you got some serious competition there, you know. So, and I'm not a big player. Wow, why is that? Okay, I'm going to look at the body now because I must be... That's weird. It's like a pop that I'm not seeing. Alright, I'll take one more look. Boom, boom. Is it in here? That might be it. Try and bring that down, smooth that out a little bit. Yeah. That is his... Yeah, that's his rotation left and right. So let me see if that smooths it out a bit. No, it's still hit. You see that? You guys see that? Where it hits and just stops. Wow. That is so strange. And I'm not seeing it in my curves. Okay, this is driving me crazy here. Is my up and down? Alright, maybe it's... Alright, when in doubt, start over. And that's what we're going to do. Okay. Sometimes it gets away from me, and the best way to deal with it is go like that and delete, start over. Oh, you know what? Look at that. Okay, so I deleted the animation frames on the head, and check that out. Boom, there's that pop. So it's not actually my head animation that's causing the problem. It's somewhere in the body. Maybe it's down in the cog. Let me check him. Thanks, folks. I downloaded Blender. Smart move. ZBrush is too expensive. ZBrush is insanely expensive. It really is, man. Alright, so he's not the culprit. But, yeah, I think Blender is absolutely the best way if you're just, like, curious, but, you know, don't really want to make any investment, then Blender, I think, is a fantastic way to try it out. Go look at it. I don't know if you've seen it before, but I'll dig it up here. Bunny, if you want some inspiration, if someone says, yeah, but what can you do with Blender? Then just go look at Bunny. Big Buck Bunny, right? This is an animated film that they made, and this point, look at this. This is actually, wow, is it really 10 years ago that they did that? Is Buck Bunny 10 years old now? This thing is pretty. Even by today's standards, it's still a pretty thing. And I can't believe it's actually 10 years old now. And it was all done in Blender by a bunch of people that volunteered their time. So if anyone says, well, Blender's nice, but it's a free program, so it's crap. No. Just say, look, go watch Big Buck Bunny and tell me that you can't do some good stuff with it. So, there you go. You know, I mean, in my case, you know, like I said, I because I use Maya for like my day work, you know, I'm just really comfortable with the animation tools in it. So it's easier for me to work faster. But you know, once again, if I was starting out, I would definitely jump all over Blender. I cannot figure out why. Do I have a neck controller? No. Alright, just out of curiosity, what I'll do is I'm going to mute. This is a nice feature in Maya. You can mute it, mute selected, and it will like... Okay, so... Mute selected. So sometimes this is a nice way to track down who the culprit is. So at this point I've muted all the rotation on the body, and now I can see that the head is definitely the culprit. You can see how it hits and stops, which is strange because I didn't see that. Okay, that's it. So it's boom. little bit more that way. Yeah, it's still pretty poppy. It's strange. I'm not sure why this one is hurting me here. Alright, so that's good. Oh, okay. One thing is because I've been adjusting the rotation on it, you can see that the curves are definitely getting all wonky on me. So I'll go like that to clean up initially. That should make it play better. Let's see what we got now. Yeah. Better, but not quite there. I want that to overshoot and then recover. That's better. Alright, I want to introduce some rotation up and down. I think that's also something that's kind of missing in this right now. Like that. Boom. Alright, that one's got it. You know what? I'm going to just delete this. And then tweak it. Like that. Boom. Bless you. There he goes. Yeah, okay. So that's good, but I want to go ahead and get that rotation going in both directions. So I think what I'll do is I'll do it this way, bring him down, let him swing that way, and then kind of come this way, come back down. So I'm overshooting both directions and then having it come back. So in theory, yeah, that's exactly what it's trying to do. So now the head is kind of going past that way and coming back that way. It's subtle, but it's better. Whereas before it was kind of coming out and hitting like that, right? But now by switching that curve to that sine wave, I get more of it kind of going back and forth there. Yep. Yeah, I think I can live with that. Oh, wait. I didn't notice this. That's another thing. You know, I get very comfortable in my day job. You work on TV shows and that kind of stuff. The term is you animate to camera, right? You know, so you let's see. Is all Big Buck Bunny made in Blender? Yes. The answer is his name is Dumpy. Yeah, Big Buck Bunny was done, and even the compositing. I think actually Blender has compositing as well. So I think the idea is that Big Buck Bunny was done from beginning to end, all in Blender, just to really show off the potential. If you have people that are really passionate about it and have some decent skill set. So yeah, I think Big Buck Bunny is a fantastic calling card for that the Blender software. So yeah, highly recommend that as a introductory kind of piece of software for you, for sure. I mean, once again, you can't beat the price, man. Free is good. Let's see if that's okay. Not really. I think I'm rotating in too fast there. That's better. There you go. Not the prettiest animation, but it's just a simple idle animation. And I think it'll play for what I need. So we will consider him done. Lose idle, control S. There you go. Geo is unlocked. I can select him and I will export him straight into Unity. So export selection. There's by the way, you can see this, it has send to Unity. I always had bad results with that. I tend to they may have improved it. I have not done it in a long time. But it used to send a bunch of stuff with it that I didn't like. So I find it easier to just sort of ignore that tool and just select the geometry and do it myself. So I just do export selection, and I just do it as an FBX, of course, because game engines like FBX. So I'm coming over here, going to my assets, going to objects. Going to characters, Middle Ages, and this is my ogre, and this is response, lose idle. Done. That's another one that's knocked out. Cool. Let me come back over. Alright. Come back in my scene so I can see that. Alright. So let me select him. So this is another word. So this is the disrespectful, obviously, if he loses, so he's still depressed. But now you can see the new animation that I just did. See the idol there. So he does like a response, and then he goes in, he just dissolves right in that idol. So good. That one's done. That's one more thing off the list. Warrior is totally done. Wizard. Let me go back and actually double check. Female warrior, dwarf. Yeah, those are all knocked out. So yeah, I'm actually pretty close to getting all of these mascot animations knocked out. Let me see who we got. The wizard. I don't think I have the idle animation done with this one. We'll see. Oh no, look at that. I do have some. You see that? Yeah. I actually have that animation already knocked out. I've forgotten that. Good. That's one less thing to deal with. How about losing? Yeah. Looks like I got a idle for when he loses as well. It's subtle, but he's moving, isn't he? Yeah. Nice. Guess what, guys? I think I've actually finished all of my animations for my mascots. That is a big thing that is off the list. Now, you know, granted, I mean, I could definitely come back and revisit some of the stuff. That was a funny short animation film. Oh, yeah, you just went off and watched the bunny? Yeah, Buck Bunny. Yeah, once again, it's all done in Blender. Just for anyone that just tuned in here, I'll give a little context of what we're talking about. This is Buck Bunny. Let me pause that. So this is a animated film that was done a decade ago. I cannot believe it's already been 10 years ago. And it was done in Blender, a completely 100% free software, and it's a very nice calling card. It's really pretty looking, and it's a cute story. It's actually pretty funny, a little mischievous, a little evil, but still pretty entertaining. So yeah, I'm glad you like that. Cool. And yeah, I'm glad you downloaded the software. And once again, because that program has been out for as long as it has, there are a ton of tutorials. So you should be able to find any area that you want to delve into, be it modeling, be it the texturing, rigging, lighting, animating, compositing, any of that stuff. You're going to find tutorials for it. I'm sure there's other sites that will charge for it, but I'm sure there's got to be a ton of YouTube videos for Blender that should get you up to speed. But definitely, man, if you're interested, jump in, give it a try. So, you know what? That's so cool. Actually, I think I can actually shut down Maya now, because I will save him, because that was the last of the animation that he knocked out. So I guess I can go back to Lightwave maybe, and then create some more poses. He's still open. If you guys remember, I was talking before. I'll go back and revisit this in case you guys didn't see. So the icons I was talking about, right? The selectable icons. And I think, let me go to my assets. Once again, I've been using Unity for 10 years now. So this is why I have 376 plugins, because, well, part of it, I had the Pro version, so the Pro used to give away free assets every month, which is part of the reason why it's boosted. But I'm also a big buyer of all assets. Anything that's, what's Unity? Really? Unity is it is a 3D game engine tool. It is what I've been using for a decade. It is a fantastic piece of software that allows either individuals like myself to create games. This is actually my 6th game that I've created in the last 8 years I've been doing this full time. It also works well for teams and that kind of stuff. It is just a fantastic tool for creating apps and games, either in 2D or 3D. Um, if it's something that you want to look at, it is right here at Unity 3D. Um, you can actually create games with Unity and not pay a cent. The base version is completely free, and the way it works with Unity, and the same is true for Unreal, by the way. I'm not gonna play favorites. I'm not gonna get in the Unity Unreal discussion. I can put in my 2 cents if you guys want, but I think both of them have their pluses and minuses for sure. But because I am a Unity user, I'm just showing you Unity. But you can download it, you can use it, and it isn't until you make like tens of thousands of dollars before you actually have to upgrade to a paid version. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Everything in any game is using it. Yeah, I think that's Unity's advantage, is that it is more oriented towards true cross-platform. It is a lot easier, I think, in Unity to create games that range from PC and with a click of a menu. I mean, literally, this is, if you, right now I have it set up to PC and Mac and Linux, right? But if I want to do a mobile game, I literally go up to build settings and I just change it. If I go to iOS, right, Android, these are all options, and all I have to do is hit switch platform, boom, and now the game is going to be running for that device, and it's just an absolutely fantastic tool. They used to advertise it as like write once, you know, export everywhere, and it's very true. Yeah, Unity download or download Unity Hub. Yep, he's totally right. But it is literally, I think it's like $50,000 that if your company earns 50,000 or more, maybe it's 100,000. I'm not even sure what their latest numbers are. Then you have to get a paid version, right? And the paid version is like developers like $35 a month or something like that. It's just, if you're making that much money, $35 a month should not be a hardship, you know. But until you reach that threshold, you can use the game and for free. The trade-off is one of the key things is that when the game starts, it comes up with a made with Unity splash screen that comes up, so everyone knows. But you know, and this is a whole discussion, but I know there's a lot of people on Steam that will automatically downgrade a game if they see it's made with Unity, even if it's a fantastic game. But that's their thing. There's plenty of beautiful games that are made with Unity, and there's plenty of terrible games that are made with Unreal, conversely. But there's a huge chance whatever you make in there is going to something made with either Unity or Unreal 4. Yep. So learning the basics of Unity is good. Yeah. You know, dabbling in both too. I mean, once again, both are free. You know, both Unity and Unreal are free. If your dream is to make a beautiful looking like AAA level PC game, then you might want to consider Unreal. One of the advantages Unreal has over Unity, once again, I'm a Unity guy, but I'll say this. One of the things that Unreal has is Blueprint. Blueprint is plugged into Unreal and allows you to create flowcharts, right? Nodal flowcharts that you can create games without writing any code. So that's something that Unreal has as an advantage over Unity for sure. And Unity's trying to fix that, as I mentioned probably an hour ago, that they're creating their own visual editing tool, but it's still not going to be ready for prime time, probably at least a year from now, you know. But there's nothing wrong. I mean, all there is download time. There's nothing wrong with downloading. If you got the hard drive space, man, download Unity, download Unreal, and start playing. Unity, the one thing it really has is some fantastic tutorials, even in the editor itself. And I'm using an older version of Unity because I'm a pro user of, so you can actually see for anyone that knows Unity. Yes, I'm still in 5.6 land. Yes, I know there's 2017. Yes, I know there's 2018, but I'm still on this game, and I'm trying to get it out the door. And once it's out the door, I will ping pong up to 2018. But the 2018 version of Unity has literally tutorials that are built into the editor. So I mean, it'll do things where like show you, it's like, here, click on this button to advance. So highly recommend checking it out. I feel Unity is still easier than Unreal. Huh. Unless you're working with a team, I think go with Unity. So maybe it's second nature for you. Just go with your gut. No, and that's totally true. 100K. Okay, there you go. So it is 100K these days. I think it used to be lower, but now they've moved it up. So if you're making $100,000, if your company's making $100,000, then paying $35 a month for the indie version of Unity is not a hardship. I think I'll make zero. Maybe I'll make it maybe in 20 years. Yeah. Well, I mean, once again, the fact that I am in Los Angeles right now, 250 miles away from my home in Vegas, picking up some freelance animation work, tells you that mobile game development is a challenge. Because if I made enough money on mobile game development, I would not be here. I'd be home working on mobile games full time. So, yeah, having an alternate form of income to subsidize the game development until you make that juggernaut hit is not a terrible idea. Look at it this way: if you make a game that banks you 95K in a year, you don't have to give Unity a penny. And that is the other thing that's true. Unreal, once you reach that threshold, Unreal also makes you pay a royalty percentage as well. I mean, it's minor, but it is out there. So I'll just point that out. That is a truism of the highest proportions. So just something to keep in mind. But no, what you said before, I think is totally true. If I were in school, right, and I had a specific skill set, and then I had a bunch of friends that had other skill sets that work well with mine, right, in the different areas, and I could put together a team, then I would definitely consider Unreal, right? Because you're just going to make some amazingly beautiful stuff, of course, because Unreal is a beautiful looking engine. But if you're a smaller team, or if you're like dumb enough to be like by yourself like me, or sorry, if you're courageous enough to be like me, then I think Unity is a better asset because, once again, because you have the store, because you have all these assets that will fill in the gaps for you, right? And whereas Unreal, you have to, they're adding more tools, but a lot of the things you have to do yourself, right? And Unity, Eye the tiger, baby. Eye the tiger. Eye the tiger. There you go. But yeah, I think that's that's my 2 cents. I'm not a big Kool-Aid drinker. I'm not like this one is fantastic and this one sucks. I think they both have their strong suits. So it's totally what works for you. There are plenty of beautiful games that are made with Unity and crud games with Unity. Beautiful games with Unreal and some crud games as well. So, you can make garbage with any tool. And you can make beautiful stuff with virtually any other tool anyways, too. It really depends on what you're trying to do and what your skill set is and, what you're capable of and what you're willing to put into it. At least that's my philosophy. Eye the tiger, baby. Eye the tiger. I like that. All right. So, this is good. I guess what I could go back to, if I could figure out where I have all this stuff loaded. Is that off the... Yeah, that is off the drive. So, I was doing the character poses. So, if I come back here and icon poses... oh, and I guess I do actually still need... No, I guess what I could do is come back and clean up some of the stuff that I was going to do before. So, the dwarf... icon poses... Export... Yep. Let's go. Desktop. Bear with me 1 second. Let me get this loaded. Let me just point everything in the right place. Wow, actually, I don't care about pickaxe. I'm gonna just hide that. No, I do need pickaxe. Crud. And I don't think I have that on my thumb drive. That's the challenge of working remote, is when you forget stuff. Okay. We will leave our little dwarf character for the moment and come back over to female warrior. Icon poses. Export. Start with A. Cuphead, Ori, and Blind Forest, Hearthstone. These games were made with Unity. There you go, man. That's you need a USB drive? No, I just need the content. You have one in my truck. No, if you don't mind, what I need is the image files that are on my box at home. So if you don't mind just jumping in your vehicle and going 250 miles back to my house, Oh, no. No, I think it's actually on my laptop, but I don't think it's worth making the effort of plugging in the USB, dragging on the laptop onto the USB onto this box. When I got other characters, I can. I'm not buys. I'm not. You're not busy. Now we're getting into the swingers mentality. Vegas, baby. Vegas. Do you have to twist your arm to drive to Vegas on a Friday? Oh, just for reference, if you never drive from Los Angeles to Las Vegas on a Friday night, there's simple rules in life. Never stand too close to the edge of a cliff. Never find out just how hungry a hungry lion is, and never drive to Vegas from Los Angeles on a Friday night. Dude, not the smart move, right? Equally dumb is actually trying to come back from Vegas back to LA on a Sunday. Oh man, you know, I've joked about this. It's actually almost faster to just go east and just go all the way around the world and come back to California. It is just nasty. So yeah, man. If you want to jump in your truck and make a run to Vegas and pick up those files for me, go for it. I did that. I've done it a couple of times before I learned my lesson. And LA to Vegas, Vegas to LA is traditionally about a 4-hour drive. If you try and do it on one of those nights, it can be 10 hours plus. It literally can. And it is a boring drive, man. You start off, and as soon as you get out of, the outskirts of LA proper, you hit desert, and then you have desert, and then you have desert, and more desert. So, yeah. The made with, Unity has their little made with section. Yeah. Oh, Baymax Streams. Actually, I checked that out. That was at the Unity Unite. They were talking about that. So they're using that as a real-time, near real-time rendering tool to do some of the short animated cycles. I saw cycles. Animated short films that they're doing, which I think is a new area that Unity is trying to push into, is using Unity as a Sonder, which actually I went to the lecture on that one too. I mean, that's pretty. And dude, for the record, okay, you see that? The shading they're using? Where's my... There you go. Let me come up to one of my characters, and nobody's here. Where's my characters? Villagers. There you go. Oops. Right here. Check it out. Tunicolors Pro. So I've been using this for my last 3 or 4 games. I've been using this plugin called Tunicolors Pro. Tunicolors Pro, and it sells for, what does it sell for these days? I guess I won't know because I actually have owned it since 2013. I've been a user since 2013. Really? It's actually $20 right now? Wow. Okay. So that's a steal. So this tool was actually used. Oh, I lost my Chrome here. Oh yeah, and there's Baymax Dreams. No, go back to, where's Sonder? There you go. So they actually used that same toon shader that I've used on my last 3 or 4 games to do this short film, and it's just really pretty, man. Isn't that nice? So, yeah, if you want inspiration, if you want someone that says that, Unity isn't used to make anything worthwhile, yeah, just send them here. Send them to the made with. I think that is a fantastic counter argument. That's pretty. Yeah, and like you said, Cuphead, I mean, Cuphead is just flat out gorgeous. I've never seen any behind the scenes talk on Cuphead. Because it's not like they're just doing 2D animation, they're actually doing like frame by frame animation. And I would love to know how they got so many frames of animation of really large characters into that game and still have it play smoothly. All right? I mean, that's an insane amount of large art that they flip through in Cuphead. So one of these days, hopefully there'll be a post-mortem, because I would just love to reverse engineer how they pulled that off, because it is truly a beautiful looking game. Truly. And a painfully hard, challenging game too, isn't it? Yep. Alright. And once again, I lost my focus, didn't I? Sorry, guys. Alright, so what I needed to do was, I had all these poses that were done, but what I came to realize is I was going to drop on these badges, and then this is what it looks like rendered, right? Which is fine, but what I've realized is that I don't want to cut off the body at all, because I'm going to have these little badges, and I want them to be fully. So what I need to do is actually adjust. Boom, boom. Let me zero. That's 1, 2, 3. I go to frame 3, and I'm gonna like. I may have to tweak. Now, as I mentioned before, I animate in Maya, and I'm rendering in Lightwave. So if I want to make an animation change to this, I have to jump back over to Maya and then export it back in. So I'm gonna like hopefully not do that. But the problem is when I did these poses, I focused on this section, right, in terms of my posing. So the legs are going to be very, very stationary and boring. So I may have to go back and actually into Maya and make those adjustments. But let me see what I got first. Yeah. I mean, the pose is okay. I like this, but then the legs are just, you know, the legs are literally the default. So I hate to say it, but I am gonna have to go back into Maya and adjust that. And unfortunately, that is one of the downsides to Lightwave, is that their animation tools have never really been up to snuff, and unfortunately, they really haven't made much effort to improve them over the years. I guess they look at it as just that there's plenty of other tools out there that do it better, and kind of like what I'm doing, you can do it in another program and just drag it into Lightwave and use it there. But let me see if I could just fire it up real fast. I'm not sure which. I don't think I have. Yeah, and I think the renders are actually on my laptop. Once again, I think I'd have to move it over to check what I did there, but let me fire that. My computer, boom, boom. They're all down here. Scenes, characters. Man, I've worked a lot more than I normally do. Normally this time we've been talking way too much movies, so it's an unusual Friday night. But we can talk about movies if you guys want to. Love talking films. I don't know, is there anything coming out this weekend? Anything open that's interesting? I haven't even looked. Nope. Oh, it's Lightwave free. No, it is definitely not. It is a fraction of the price compared to Maya. And unlike Maya, where you rent Maya, you know, you get to use Maya for as long as you pay for it, but as soon as you stop paying for it, you no longer have access to Maya. Lightwave is a purchase product. I think it's probably around $1,500. Yeah, I know, it's a lot of money. But, still, I mean, you know, that's like less than 1 year of Maya, and you own it permanently. So, a perfect example, if we come back in here to Lightwave, yeah, if you look it up here, it says 2015. Yes, that means that I own 2015, and there's 2018 Lightwave, and I haven't upgraded. So, even though I bought Lightwave, the upgrade to 2015, at least 4 or 5 years ago, and I'm still using it. If this was Maya, I would not be able to start it because it would say, hey, you haven't paid us our ransom, excuse me, our monthly payment yet, so you can't use your program. It's the difference between owning and renting. So that is the perk, but yeah, it's definitely a big chunk of change. I can check real quick, actually see what, bear with me 1 second. Lightwave 3D. See what it actually goes for these days. Now it does have they used to actually have a thing where you could use it and it had like a trial version that you couldn't save anything out, but now they actually have a 30-day version. They've kind of switched that up. That's kind of a new feature. But let Let's see what it sells for these days. It's gonna make me guess. Oh, it's 1,000. Okay, $995. So yeah, I said 1,500. It's actually 995. Still a fantastic price. And I mean, yeah, when I say I'm an old school Lightwave user, when I got it, it came with like the parallel dongle that you plugged in, and my Lightwave ID was 4,180 something. So I mean, I literally bought like the 4,000th copy of this program 20 plus years ago. 22 years ago? Wow. Yeah, 22 years ago. Actually, I've been on the Lightwave bandwagon. But, you know what? Hey, Lightwave got me to the Emmys and it got me to the Visual Effects Society Awards twice. So, not a terrible program. And I still use it. At least for my own stuff. Maybe not at work anymore. Most visual houses don't use it. With the exception of, here you go. You guys will probably know this, right? Well, I'll do it this way. This is what makes Lightwave a little more infamous than famous, because Lightwave is probably better known these days for this series of movies. Do we know Sharknado? Am I supposed to be downloading Visual Downloader with Unity? Excuse me. Oh, actually Visual Studio should come bundled with it. I use here you go. I use the Microsoft Visual Studio, and you can actually use it for free. It's not an additional charge. So yeah. You can actually use. There's a couple different choices out there, but you know, Microsoft Visual Studio is free and integrated pretty nicely with Unity, so that's what I use. By contrast, I'm a carpenter builder, and I purchased probably $20,000 to $30,000 worth of tools through my career. Fair enough. There you go. Absolutely. So, but yeah, this is what Lightwave is more famous for lately, is the Sharknado movies. Asylum uses it, and that's one of the perks of Lightwave, is that it is a lot easier to create content very quickly. And, you know, it's not exactly going to be super like Pixar quality or ILM quality. It's done quickly quality. So there you go. There's Lightwave. There's my tool. Yeah. I still love Lightwave. Female warrior. Icon poses. Boom. Yeah, you gotta spend money to make money. Yes. If nothing else, Ferris Bueller's Day Off taught me that. Come on, man, you gotta spend money to make money. You cheap son of a... See, now we go right back to the Ferris Bueller. We're going back to the John Hughes era. John Hughes era of filmmaking. Boom, boom. Guess I don't need it. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it in because I want it. To stop. Alright, you know what? No one else is starting this, so I'm gonna ask this. What is opening this weekend? I'll do this real quick. Rely on the old trusty Metacritic. What movies are coming out this weekend? Movies. We got... Ooh, that's not good. I only got a 38. All the Devil's Men, Clara's Ghost, Tyrell, The Apprentice, Asher, Backroads, Ben in Black, Bernie the Dolphin. Yeah. Okay. Not very encouraging. Captain Underpants got a 69. Really? Oh wait, oh that's on Netflix, okay. Alright, so I guess there's not too much to get nutty about for the movie theater this weekend. Heavyweight boxing match is happening tomorrow, so I'll see that. Man, the stream's buffering cause of the Unity download. Yeah, it's one or the other, right? Okay. D what? D but I'm sorry, I'm just being a jerk now. uh, time for some FiOS, right? Or if you're like me, you have a choice of Cox cable, and then that's pretty much it. Or I could do like dial-up. I would love to have FiOS, man. All my friends talk about all the massive download speeds they have, and I'm looking at how much money I'm paying for like a fraction of that. Oh, man. Alright. Where am I going? Oh, I'm trying to pick up images. Middle Ages. And it's female warrior. I think that's right. Maybe? Whoa. Did I just crash this puppy? Uh-oh. I think... Look at that. I think Maya just went bye-bye on me. Wow. I thought I was only crashing Maya at work. I'm doing it here, too. Look at that. It is... Oh, wait. There it goes. Really? It took it that long to load, unless that's... Maybe I was pointing to a PSD? No, that's a PNG. That's like a 1 meg file, and it took it like 30 seconds? Okay. Apparently you guys aren't the only ones with some issues. You have FiOS. Oh, really? Oh, okay, yeah. It's Alpha that was having the download issues. Did I see I see Scary Guy? Now I'm the scary guy, great. Did I see Overlord? It's in the theaters right now. Overlord. I did not. What am I missing? Metacritic. Overlord. What do we got? It got a 60. On the eve of D-Day, American Patriot. Oh, this is the... what do you mean Castle Wolfenstein ripoff movie, right? Oh, come on, stop. Go away. Yeah, I saw the trailer. That one looks like a Redbox rental to me, you know? I mean... You know, okay, here's the threshold thing for me, right? I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I have a wife, love my wife, but, you know, going to the movie theater is not, like, an inexpensive endeavor, right? At least for me, going to the movie theater involves buying the tickets, right? And then, of course, she wants the popcorn. You got to get the large popcorn. And, of course, she wants the icy. So by the time it's all said and done, I'm dangerously close to $40. And I'm doing the math in my head going, you know, I could wait 4 months and buy this on Blu-ray for less than half that price. Or I could go to Redbox a couple months later and get it for $2, which is a lot less than 40. So, yeah. It has to be something a little more spectacular than a... No, it's not... It's not a Wolfenstein ripoff. Okay. It's a theater... J.J. Abrams produced it, I think. I want some nachos now. Thinking about movie theater. Yeah. You know, I love that. It's like... Someone in some marketing company said, you know what, guys? I'm in the movie theater... And I'm hearing people eating popcorn, and all I can think about is the fact that it's not loud enough, and it's not distracting enough. We need to find a food that's louder and more distracting. Nachos. Nachos. I mean, it's like what? I mean, what's beyond, like, the sound of nachos? I mean, at that point, it's like what? Like chew on glass or something like that, you know? I mean, seriously, you know? It's kind of like... My wife already does this already, right? We'll watch a movie at home, and she'll constantly turn to me and she's like, what do they say? You know, I mean, she's doing that when there's no nachos present. So you can imagine when there's nachos present, man, she's, you know, she might as well just face me and ask me for every line of dialogue in the whole movie, you know? Oops. Sorry about that. I got distracted. Shiny keys. I am, once again, I am in a LAN cafe, so when someone starts coming in a gaming cafe, not LAN cafe, gaming cafe. What is Visual Studio? That is the tool that allows you to actually write your scripts. This, wow, that dude smokes. Whew. You smell that? He's that dude is smoker. There's like, oh, cigarettes. That's yeah. But yeah. So this is Visual Studio right here. So this is where I basically write all my scripts that control the game. So it's, I mean, this is all written in C#. My net's slow, taking forever, and the stream's buffering. Okay. I will sit here for a second, and I'll just point. Okay. Yeah. This is Visual Studio, and it's basically all it is Notepad glorified. You know, I mean, literally, if you want to write scripts, you could do it like this. I mean, you could do it with just plain old. Where's my Notepad? There you go. I mean, you could use Notepad. You know, it is just a glorified text editor in essence, but very, very advanced. I mean, the key thing that it offers you is IntelliSense, and whoops, what that means is, let me come down here to where I can do it proper. So when you start typing stuff like game object, you can see that I don't have to type the whole thing, right? It does autocomplete, and boom, I could just do like that. So using a text writing tool like Visual Studio, it does a couple things. I mean, IntelliSense is great, but it also, you can see like the little red squiggly line that's sitting right here. That's this way of telling you that there's an error here. And until I actually add something there, like temp object, there. So now you see the squiggly line is no longer here. Now it's over here because it's kind of an incomplete thing. So I hit that, and then boom, you can see it goes away. So the beauty of this, with this, it's just a text editing tool, but it tells you on the fly if you have issues. Does it work as a compiler too? No. That is that's actually where Unity comes in, right? So like if I hit Control, you can see the little asterisk up here. If I hit Control S, right, and then if I come back to Unity, right here, you can see the little spindle down at the bottom. That's doing the compiling. So it is in constant contact with the Visual Studio, right? And it's looking for updates all the time. And as soon as it sees any files that have been updated and saved, then Unity checks it. But the nice thing about it is you know that you're pretty safe to begin with, because you know this thing is telling you already, right? So I mean, if I start typing something here like that, it's going to come back, and there you go. See, I get all these little squiggly lines telling you it's like it doesn't like it. It doesn't know what's going on here. So even before I go back into Unity and Unity tells me this broken, I've got the Visual Studio program giving me a hint about it, right? And it does things like this. You can see the little underline, right? You see the green one, and you can see what it's telling you. It's telling you you've declared this object, but you're not even using it, right? So it's a good way to keep your code clean, because if you see a variable with the underline, you know that at no point in your script are you using it. So if you created something, in this case, like I was going to use it and don't, then you could just go, oh, okay, it's not in use, so I can just kill it. There you go. And that's one less thing you have to worry about, the variable eating up memory or throwing off something else. So, yeah, that is Visual Studio. So like I said, it is, in essence, it's just a text editing program, but it's just a very sophisticated text editing program. But, so yeah, you do your text, you know, you write all your scripts here, and then you bounce over to Unity and let it compile. So, does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Alright. So then what I was doing, let's see. Yeah, so. Alright. So then what I was going to do before I got talking away, let me shrink that down. As I was mentioned before, because I was so focused on just the upper body, right, I only focus on this, and you can see the legs had just a nothing posed to it. So I'm going to come back in here and add a little life to this. Nothing too big. You know, just kind of have a little offset like this, maybe like that. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, The downside of using Maya LT, once again, Maya LT is inexpensive, but there's no camera setting. So I have no idea what my camera view truly looks like until I bounce it back over into Lightwave. So that is a limitation, and as a result, there ends up being a lot more back and forth between Maya and whatever rendering tool you're using. In my case, I'm using Lightwave. So that is the downside, right? So you look at here and you kind of go, I think this looks okay, but when you get over in Lightwave or whatever program you're using, you kind of go, oh no, that doesn't work. So, you know, obviously the advantage of Maya proper is that you would have a camera there and you'd know exactly what it's going to look like, but you're also paying a fortune for it, and I'm not doing that. So I'll just take it and I'll export it. And I gotta remember where I export this stuff now. It's been a little while. I think I do it here. Scenes, characters, Middle Ages, Female Warrior, icon poses, export. Oh, the OBJ? Yeah. Okay. And I think this is A, but I'm gonna just version it up in case I'm wrong. So that way I don't delete something in case I'm guessing in the wrong thing. Alright, I'm going to turn off. The VPR is a real-time rendering tool, so it's just a really nice way to see really quickly what it's looking like. But I'm going to switch it back. And, yeah, this is the object, so let me... Oops. I don't have that hotkey set up, so let me do it this way. Let me go replace. And this is something that Lightwave does that Maya does not. Replace with objects so nicely and so quickly. Yeah. Open. There he goes. Alright, so now the reason it looks totally different is because I was exporting out an OBJ, and then so what I need to do is switch it to a Lightwave object so I can set up the way I want it to be. So I'm going to go into the Surface Editor, do a couple different things here. I'm going to set up as diffuse to 100%, turn on the smoothing, and you can see, because this is a low poly kind of model, you can see how the edges are all kind of nasty. The way I fix that is I save the current object as a Lightwave object, just because Lightwave will behave. Lightwave likes default Lightwave objects more than it does OBJs or FBX, so it's just a good idea to switch over when you can. Oh, but you have to change the extension, otherwise it's gonna override it, which is kind of stupid, but oh well. There it goes. Good. Now I can come back over to Modeler, and I'll load that guy up. Middle Ages, Female Warrior. Am I in the right place? Yeah. Icon poses, export. Yep, there it is. And then the one thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to do what's called subdivided surfaces, right? And the beauty of that, if I hit tab, boom. So let me show you the difference there. So, okay, so there's the base polygon version, right? And adding subdivided surfaces, the beauty of it is I hit that, you can see how it smooths it out, right? And what it's doing is it's sort of like it's simulating what the polygon flow would be. In reality, it would actually look like this if I smooth it out. So in reality, what it's doing is actually doing all these polygons, right? But what it does is it shows you just this lighter version, and then when you actually render it, then it swaps it out on the fly for what would be like that, right? So you get to work with this, a lighter version of the model, and it goes much faster, which is kind of a nice feature. All 3D programs do this nowadays, but back in the day, Lightwave is a little more unique in that way. Excuse me. Cool thing about Unity that I like is you can easily add scripts to objects. You can change what kind of material the object is. You learn how to add light sources and cameras that follow objects in Unity. I'm sure within 2 to 3 days and some good tutorials. Yeah, speaking of good tutorials, you know, Unity themselves, they have them. You know, I mean, you can go to Udemy, you can go to Pluralsight, you can go to all these different different websites, but quite honestly, Unity has some fantastic tutorials. I've done a couple of game jams where I've offered introductory tutorials, and to be honest, this is the one I usually use as my template that I to introduce people that have never played with Unity before. It's called Rollerball Tutorial, and once again, this is under Unity 3D Learn Tutorials. It just, if you Google Unity 3D Tutorials, you can see it pops up right here at the top, right? And this is Unity's tutorials. All these are free. They're just there on the website, right? And I mean, you can check out all these things, and the level of complexity that the content that actually focuses on is just insane, right? I mean, these are just the individual tutorials, but then you can also go into specific areas. So there's something that you're confused by. Go here. Look at this, man. I mean, just like, for example, let's see if there's like, is there anything specific to yeah, animation. 35 different, look at this. You got 35 different tutorials just on animation alone, right? So, you know, anything that you feel like you're studying on scripting, 135 tutorials to teach you on scripting. So, ample material for you to dig through, and all of this is totally free. So, there you go, man. Right there on the Unity website. Not that I'm trying to sing the praises of Unity. I mean, not like they're paying me. I'm paying them. But I do like the tool. Alright, so I'm going to save this. Oops. There you go, save it. And let me come back over. There you go. You see how it snaps into place now? There you go. So if you remember before, remember how the feet, when I had that pose before, they were just like straight down and boring? And all I did was just throw them out a little bit. That's all it needed, right? Now it feels like a much more natural pose. Kind of a good, nice little curve there to the body. So that's going to work great. And the key thing, like I said, is I want to avoid it going past the edges. So like that. There it is. Now the thing I don't remember. Yeah, okay, I think I had that pose. Yep. Alright, so that's good. And then I have the real-time rendering, but I'm going to go ahead and hit F9, which does a proper render. There you go. Excuse me. So you can see I did before. I put these little lights, you know, that light here and light here. The purpose was just to fill in this gap because it's just a little too dark, and it's a total cheat, but it works really well just to kind of fill in that gap there. Here, I can show you real quick what I'm talking about. If I like, boom. So move him out of the way for a second. So check this out. This is what I'm talking about. So if I have that shoulder, if I turn it off, boom. That's not that bad. It's not as bad as I remember, but it's just, it's a little dark, right? So I just put that light in there just to bring it up a little bit. So what I'm just trying to do is just avoid anything that's just too dark, right? I don't want the icon to kind of have any kind of dark black levels. So, and the nice thing about doing a proper render, let me switch this so it's not doing render every time, is that I can get it with the alpha. And that's what I'm going to do on the Unity side, is drop it in there and have like a nice background and have this character lay on top of it. So then I will save it as a PNG, because PNGs are the best. 32-bit, so that way it keeps the alpha intact. And then I need to go back to my source, renders, Middle Ages, into the ogre, and I say female warrior. Oh wow, we're at 11 o'clock. Wow guys, I totally lost track of time. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. Normally, like I said, I normally go to 10 o'clock, but I was just kind of plowing through it, and you guys are having a good time talking. Okay, I got distracted here. I have the patience, and I learn quick. If I keep at it, follow tutorials, and watch YouTube videos, I'll one day be able to make something I like, hopefully. Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely, and it'll happen faster than you believe, honestly. Rollerball was so boring for me, but I'd recommend the 2D roguelike. Yeah, you know, it is boring, but, I mean, it's the proverbial you have to learn to walk before you can run, right? I mean, I think the Rollerball is a good way to get the very starting basics of what happens in Unity. I mean, because if you jump into one of the higher end tutorials too fast, it may get really kind of confusing for you. That was fun. Since you like level design, Google things like how to create a small map with terrain, etc. in Unity, things like that. Yep, that's another good thing. That's a good suggestion. I totally agree. Dude, you don't need my feedback. Just look at that. You got great feedback coming from all over the place. I'm just gonna sit here and work. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate that. All right. Female warrior pose, and I'm gonna call this A. I don't know if this is actually A or not. Save. Pose B. Alright. While I'm doing that, I'm gonna fill up my drink again. Ugh. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. A little distracted. Alright. So, now, let's see, is that my camera? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, once again, you can see what I was doing here. I was focusing on the upper body, and you can see how the legs I just completely ignored. So, I gotta fix that. Pose B. So, let me come back into... Do I have that in this one, or... you know, Palladians, you can believe that game was made in UDK 3. Yeah, alpha. Actually, yeah, totally. Happy to offer any input I can, man. And you're definitely getting some great feedback from all the guys hanging out here, so very cool. All right, yeah, that's one I want right there. All right, you know what? What I'm gonna do is make sure. Oops, lock the geo for a second. What I'm gonna do is make sure that I got all my controllers keyed, so I don't like have it move on me. There you go. Alright, kind of swing that out. Huh, I didn't know that either. Alright, so... oops. Alright, I'm gonna grab the hands which are IK, and the cog at the same time. The old Unreal Engine. Alright, gonna swing that leg out. Swing that one out more. Yeah, okay, I think that actually that might be a pretty good angle if I do it like down below. Maybe like that. Okay. So I'm gonna save that and then unlock the geo, select it, and then we'll say this is pose B. I think this is pose B, but I'll version up once again just in case I'm gonna break something. Hey, Scarface Grove is now following. Scarface, thanks, buddy. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I got like... It's just an air freshener. It's like vanilla air freshener. I can smell it. It's just, yeah, it's just vanilla air freshener. Sorry about that. Guys, once again, I'm in a LAN cafe, or a gaming cafe, and people wandering, so sometimes get a little distracted there. But, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Scarface Grove, man, thank you so much for the follow. I really do appreciate that. I'm trying really hard to get up to the, you're on a roll today. Yeah, I know, man. This is good. Yeah. I should be shutting down, but, you know, you guys are hanging with me, you know, so, hey, I'll do it, right? I'll stay with you guys, but, yeah. So, ultimately, I'm trying to get my, like, 50 subs going, and you guys are helping me get close. I really do appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay. So, all right. Sorry, I got a little distracted there, but back on track. All right, so I made this character, animated it, positioned it like I like, export it on here, and once again, now the problem is I'm still in the, as you can see, in the polygon phase. So what I need to do, and unfortunately, this is Lightwave is split between the layout and the modeler. They're separate programs, so this is kind of a pain. But I got to go File. I'm going to save the current object as a Lightwave object. Add the extension so it knows I want it to be a Lightwave object, and then come back over to modeler. That's the last one, so I'm going to get rid of her and then load this in. There you go. And all I want to do is hit tab so I can turn into sub D mode. There you go. And now we come back. Now, boom, she magically turns into the smooth character. That's what I was trying to do. Kind of stinks that I have to go all the way over to modeler to do that, but oh well. Ooh, that's pretty dark, isn't it? I don't remember that being that dark. I have to throw some more lights in there, I think, to make that a little bit prettier, but... Alright, so first thing is I gotta find a good camera angle for this, because before, as I was talking about, originally I had it just like this chest up viewpoint, but now I realize I want to do like the whole body, so I have to mess with my camera first. Oh, you know what? It helps if actually, whoops. I'm clicking on too much stuff. I'm actually messing with the object right now, and I'm meant to, there you go, select the camera. How long will I be streaming for? Well, I normally say I start at 8, and I normally say I go to 10 o'clock, but we're past that. And the difference is it's Friday night, so I don't have to get up in the morning and go to my freelance job. So normally I go from 8 till 10-ish, but tonight I'm 11 and still going. So I guess as long as I'm awake and not screwing up too bad, the longer I go, kind of the more tired I'm getting and the more mistakes I'm making. But I mean, as long as you guys are hanging with me, right? I'll hang out. I appreciate the company, and you know, I appreciate you guys actually chatting with me, man. You know, it's better than, I mean, because I'm always talking to myself, but now I can delude myself with the idea that no, I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to other people. You know, so it's an improvement. Sorry. Okay, I'm a little tired. I'm getting a little loopy here. Alright. Wait, why is my camera not... Oh, that's... Really? Oh, there it is. It's... New Zealand! Wow! Really? You're New Zealand? Okay, well, I'm in Los Angeles. So it is 11 p.m. Wait. 8. Okay, so... Wow, you're... Only 3 hours behind us? I'm actually shocked by that. I thought it would be more than 3 hours. That's fascinating. I feel very ignorant all of a sudden. It was very weird. It was very weird when he's talking to himself. He's going to be here until Sunday Mass. So thank you. Oh, man. Yeah, you're just upset because you figured out what I did to your chair back there, and now you're having to deal with... Oh, wait, you did figure out what I did to your chair back there, right? Nothing. I did nothing to your chair. as far as you know. New Zealand, man. I always want to go there. It's Saturday. Yeah. Oh, you're all the, yeah, okay, you're all the way around. That's right. Okay. Wait, but it's 8 p.m.? Oh, jeez. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, so yeah, you're on Saturday for me too. Oh, wow. Um yeah, because yeah, you're over on the East Coast where I'm on the West Coast over here. Well, yeah. Well, geez, man. 13 hours different. That's fascinating. So, yeah, I know you get this a lot, but I mean, I know Australia and New Zealand are very much two separate things, but yeah, I have family that are on the Australia side and never been. I really want to go. And of course, you know, New Zealand, beautiful place, you know, thanks to Peter Jackson introducing us to the beautiful landscape there, but haven't been. Well, okay, technically I have been to Australia, but I was 6 months old, so not really a lot of memories from that trip. So, but yeah, I would like to go. Haven't done nearly as much traveling outside the continental United States like I should have. Let's see. Actually, it looks like she's sucking her thumb there, doesn't it? That's not too good. Alright, let me see what I can eat. That's better. Alright, let me see what my camera is here. What my lens is. Currently I'm sporting a 35. Excuse me. Okay, I'm gonna punch this up. I'm gonna go like a little more fisheye, like an 18. And see if I get a nice little distortion so I can something like this. This might be a little more interesting. Not loving it yet. Let me try the other direction. Okay, this is going to get more interesting, I think. I went to Aussie at 15, didn't see any snakes or massive spiders, which I'm glad about. Yeah, I mean, Australia is like famous, or rather infamous, for like there's so many things that want to kill you there. I've only heard terrible things about the creatures in Aussie. Yeah, it's amazing. I got out of there alive. Yeah. I mean, what is it? It's like 10 of the most poisonous creatures on the earth all reside there in Australia. You know, I think that's you can check me on those facts, but I know it's like some large number. That's not terrible. Let me see if I can. I think that's I'm not quite loving this yet. I'm gonna keep playing with the camera here, try and see if I can find a better angle. See, now she looks like she's doing karaoke. This isn't helping. Okay. I'm trying to look for this, like, I don't know if she's scared or if she's just mad. But right now, neither one of those is really coming across. Maybe I do this real top-down pose. How about this? No. Still not liking it. Man, I don't want to have to go back and actually reanimate the pose. Hoping I can salvage this. Here we go. There it is. That's our winner. Come up a little bit so I'm not busting the edge there. So many things. So many things in the desert want to kill you. But enough about Las Vegas. Alright. So, good. I like this camera now. So I'm going to save that. Oh, I should have versioned. Oh well. Too late now. Camera's good. Lighting is terrible right now. You can see I got this super hot spot on the leg, and there's just all this darkness in here. So the first thing I want to do is hunt for my mouth light. There should be a light in here that I designate as mouth. And it's way down there by her skirt. I'm not sure why that's the case. So I'm going to put that right there. And check out the difference here. Watch this. Yeah. Ooh, that's actually a bit of a hot spot there. There we go. So, yeah, you can see a total difference. You got, look at that. Nicely, it's a total cheat. It's an absolute total cheat, but it's just, big difference. So you see that versus, look at that, pitch dark versus just a little light in there, just a little point light, just to give that a little bit. And then I want to do the same thing. You can see this is what I was talking about before. What I want to avoid is anything that looks like it's pure black, right? And you can see in here, that's just way, way too dark for me. So I'm going to put a little point light here in a second and fill in that space. But what I want to focus on first is establishing, once again, I'm doing like the traditional 3-point lighting, which is your key light, your fill light, and your kicker. The kicker is the one that normally you do behind. Whenever you see someone that has like that nice little highlight edge, that little bright edge, that's the kicker light. And those are much, much brighter, but it's just like the edge. So I want to get my proper lighting set up. So you can see I even have it labeled here. I have my key light, and there's my fill light, and that's my kicker. So what I'm going to do is, because I don't know where they all are right now, they could be positioned in the wrong place, so what I'm going to do is just kill them all. Drop the values all down to 0. Kicker. Yeah, you see the kicker I had up to 125%. And you got to remember also, if I kill all the lights in the scene, you'll see that there's still light going on, and that's because not only, I mean, I have, I guess there's one more floating, but I have that gray background is actually a sphere that's giving it ambient kind of lighting. We want more characters in Violet Village. I want to play as Odin. Make a deal. If you can talk to New Line Cinema and get them, if you can pay for the rights to it, I will be happy to. Oh, Odin. Sorry, that's not New Line. Who owns? Oh, that's Disney. Oh, good luck with that. Yeah. So if you can go ahead and call up Disney and figure out how much they want for the rights to create an Odin character in my video game, and if you don't mind ponying up the cash, then I will make you an Odin character that you can have run around on the island. How about that? Until then, not gonna happen. The last thing I want to do is create characters and get my game sued into oblivion. Especially not from Disney, man. Those guys, they're scary. You know, do not want to get on their bad side. Alright, it sure looks like I still got one light floating around in here. Light. Oh, I do have a second kicker. That's why. I'm going to just delete him outright. Now the shoulder left, I'm going to kill that as well. I'm going to drop it so I just have... Now, there we go. So here's my 3 lights and that little mouth light. Hey, wait. No. You don't need to ask Disney. He's from Norse mythology. Yeah, I don't think that really matters. You know, I think there's I think there's still a lawsuit waiting to happen. You have to understand that Disney has an army of lawyers that have to justify their daily paychecks. So they look at me as just like, you know, the same way a giant pack of lions looks at a wounded wildebeest. It's kind of going, maybe they don't see me. Maybe they don't see me. And lions are just like flipping a coin, figuring out which one gets to eat on them first. Yeah. No. No. You do not mess with the lawyers, especially not ones for Disney that have to justify their existence. Alright. So, I'm actually going to try the key on... Let's see, do I want to put... Yeah, I'm going to put the key on the left side. So, let me see if I can... There we go. Oh, he's actually pretty much there. So, let me swing over a little bit. There we go. And now I'll actually give him some life. I'm going to start with 50. Whoa, that's way too much. So, once again, even though the light is only 50%, you can see how it's not terrible. But you can see how illuminated she is, and that's, once again, that's because I have that spherical globe that's just doing that ambient lighting all around, which is a just great way, you know, the global illumination and the ambient occlusion is just a great way to add the shading. 13 days till your birthday. What software should I buy? Well, what budget? What productivity software? Gaming software? You have I hate to answer a question with a question, but that one definitely, I think, deserves a question response. Yeah, there you go. Buy Blender. Yeah, I'll send you my PayPal, and I'll set you up with Blender. buy Unity and Blender for free. There you go. You got the free Blender, get the free Unity, man. Yeah, I don't know what I would suggest. Dun 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 dun. You say it's your birthday. You're downloading Unity. Oh, so you get more of this now. More of the stuttering, the buffering. Free. About 400. Whoa! Wow. Okay. Okay. Wow, that's a good question. I guess it kind of harks back because it seems like you kind of mentioned a couple different things that you were interested in. So I think it sort of, yeah, and Zealous Youth is absolutely right. A lot of these softwares have trial versions, right? They can at least try out, you know, and find out if it's a good fit. There's no reason to drop cash on it, only to find out that it's, you know, it's garbage or it's just not really friendly. Yeah, Udemy. No, he's totally right, man. Udemy is a fantastic thing. Never pay full price for Udemy, right? If you wait 3 days, they always have these sales, right? I mean, I feel sorry for the person that actually does pay a Udemy full price. It's always on sale for $10 or $15 for these courses. And if kind of like Audible, right? The key thing is watching the example videos for the tutorial. The key thing is listen to the guy or girl who's talking and listen to him, and because you're going to be listening to him for hours and hours and hours. And do they sound intelligent, and are they coherent, and is this someone that you think you can actually learn something from? Because it doesn't matter how knowledgeable they are, but if they're just like the whole time umming, you know, or like getting distracted. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do, and I'm too lazy to edit my video, so I'll just don't do it this way, which you will find sometimes. So it doesn't run on your PC or something like. Let's see. Udemy basically has a bad rep, but only because if you're a professor or teacher, there's you buy for it. Yeah, you know, and I mean, in the same way that Unity has a bad rep on Steam, right? Because there is some garbage out there, right? And because it is so accessible, right? And I think this is a very good comparison. Because Unity is so accessible and is so easy to put out something, right? It is really easy to put out a really bad piece of game, right? So trying to do something quality, you know, is a challenge. So yeah, and the same thing for Udemy, right? I mean, it is a fraction of what in any college or anything is going to charge you. And yeah, because I don't know what their process is for determining who does and doesn't do these tutorials. So you're going to have some tutorials that are terrible, you know. But once again, you know, you should be able to get a sense of that just by watching the example videos, hopefully, right? And you know, you might get burned, but you're going to get burned for $15, right? Which is a lot better than, you know, investing in a giant class that you spend hundreds of dollars for some online thing and don't learn nearly as much. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Udemy. I own at least half a dozen Udemy tutorials myself, you know, so I definitely recommend that. But in terms of actual software, I think that still kind of goes back to specifically what you're thinking about. I don't know, $400. I'm not sure. I mean, I would look at, I mean, because if I remember correctly, you were more focused on the idea of maybe like 2D, right? Or am I confusing you? I'm sorry. I am a little tired, so I might be getting a little confused, but I think you were talking about 2D stuff before. If so, then I would look at maybe something like Spriter or something similar. But I don't know. I guess I need a little more input in what you think you might want to be steering towards. Let me know, and I will help as best I can. the meantime, I will try and finish the lighting on her. So I've got the key light is set. I'm cool with that. I'm going to go to the fill and figure out where okay, actually the fill light is in a good spot. That's where it should be. So the fill light, I'm going to boost not as much. I'm going to do about 25. I want to get it pumped up a little bit without actually starting to like blow it out. Actually, my key I think can come up more. Let me try 65. Okay, that's good. I'm still not like crushing the whites. I'm a little hot right here, but I think that's okay. And then I'm gonna leave that like it is. So I'm gonna go to my kicker now and see where that one lives. Okay, I like the general position, but that's still not. I want to be on this side, I think. You know, remember the kicker is the one we just used just to illuminate edges. So I'm gonna try something like this. Okay, I'm gonna start off with that, and then I'm gonna crank this. Boom, there he goes. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? These little edges, which right now is not working for me. Let me see if I can find. Yeah, see, the challenge here is because she has this giant hat, right? I mean, what I'd love to do is get like this nice edge around here, but I mean, so her hair is kind of shadowing her arm, and then this giant hat of hers is kind of shadowing her hair. So it's a bit of a challenge to get a good kind of kicker light to illuminate the edge. So just for the fun of it, you know what? I'm just gonna reverse myself. I'm gonna flip it to the other side, see if I can get some good edging on this side. No, I think this is too dark. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna try and come up with a good edge light. It's a little hot down there, so that's not terrible. Actually, I think I'm like... So this is a distant light, and what that means is I don't actually have to have it physically pointed at her on top of, because the distant light is like a sun, right? Whereas like a flashlight would do a specific angle, but a distant light is the sun, so all the shadows are going to go in that same direction. So it doesn't matter if it's like on top of her or if it's a million miles away, it's still going to like hit her in that same angle, if that makes sense. So I don't have to actually position it over her like I did, like this. I just do that for my own benefit, so if I want to adjust the angle, it's easier to see. Man, my Twitch just bugged out. Started changing different channels and wouldn't load when clicked on yours. I think that happens. I think Twitch hates me. So Twitch goes out of the way to like pull my viewers away, you know, because I was gonna IP config flush. Wow. No, it's not your computer. It's Twitch. They're just trying to tell me that I've been here too long. I should, you know, pack it in and go home. You know what? Actually, check this out. I think I like this. I like, see this is the highlights I'm talking about. Now, you can see I'm a little hot here, and definitely on here, so I'm going to dial down this. I think that's about right. This is still pretty hot, but I might be able to live with that. I think that's pretty good. See, I got that nice little edging here in the back of the legs that just does a nice job. So I'll save that, but not quite done yet with this one. What I want to do is, like as I mentioned before, take care of this, because this is just too dark in there. Excuse me, carbonation there. So what I want to do is, I'm going to get lazy. I'll take my mouth light, and I will clone it, but I'm going to rename it, and I'll say, shoulder, oops. And this is her left, so I'll say shoulder left. Alright, and I'm going to switch to here so I can actually see it better. Right there. Unity takes a long time to download. Yeah, well, there's I mean, that's several gig worth of stuff. Microsoft Visual Studio itself is a massive program, but with Unity, depending on what you clicked on, it's downloading not just the Unity editor, but also the different cartridges, whatever you want to call it. You know, for PC games, for iOS, for Android, and all those different options. So yeah, I mean, each one of those by themselves is pretty massive in size. So when you grab all of them at once, it's a beefy download. Yeah, what's really bad is when they do like a version iteration update, and all you want to do is a few changes, but you have to download the entire thing all over again. Then it gets ugly. It's gonna take a while. Pull this up on the screen for alpha. I recommend it. On the screen for alpha? What is that? Oh. Oh, there you go. Well, look at that. Yeah. Found the creator of the Unreal SDK I was using way back. Yeah. And of course, you got all the reviews, so you can actually check that out and see if it's worthwhile. But yeah, $11. Only 5 hours left until 2 days from now when we put it back on sale for $11. But yeah, check it out, man. 26 hours. That's good. But I would, I would definitely start with the free stuff. Go to Unity. They have like 35 different tutorials just for the C# stuff alone there, right? And I mean, you can always come back to this as well. But yep, I do like Udemy. All right, this is pretty good. Check this out. I have fall off turned off, but I think I can get away with it. But check out the difference. So here's the light on. All right. So look at this shoulder. You ready? Watch. Boom. Look at how black that is there. That's what I was trying to fix, and I think that works nicely. And it's still. Let me see if I can squeeze it back. Yeah. All right. I gotta switch it back so I can actually see where it is. More. I want to go a little further back. Try that. Hopefully it's not too far back. Let's see what it does. Yeah, there you go. Maybe punch it up a little bit. There we go. Good. And then I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, that was UDK. Alright, so then you need to copy him one more time. And then this one is going to be shoulder right. Oh yeah, look at that, when it's two lights are on top of each other like that. Oh wait, let me switch off the real-time render so I can actually see where I'm going here. That's the downside with real-time render, is that it doesn't do any kind of overlay with the light. You know, I can see here. I think about right there should be good. Let's see what we get. Actually, it might be a little much. Try it down to 30. There it is. I think that's our winner. Check it out. So, like I said, the key thing I was trying to avoid was just any area that's just getting too dark, right? To the point of being like almost pure black. And that's what those little point lights we're doing here. And it's just a little bit of a kick, right? I still got some nice gray shade there. So there's still a range in terms of the lighting. But I think that's good. So I'm going to save this. Turn off the real-time render and hit F9. Let's see what it does. Actually, it's looking kind of grainy. You know, I'm going to see if I can punch up the render settings here. What have I got? Try 16. See if that's going to boost it a little bit. Yeah. So, I don't know if you picked up on it. And once again, I mean, this thing's going to shrunk down like this big. So, what I'm doing is probably overkill. But what I was looking at was kind of some of the grain in here I thought was looking a little heavy. But once again, I think the fact that it's going to get shrunk down. So let's go this way. If we go down to 25, there you go. What grain? Yeah, I think it should probably be like that. You know, I actually, I hate to say it, but now I'm seeing that hand is kind of getting lost in the chest. Do I want to bother to create just a very, very specific rim light to... You know what? No, I think I'll leave it. I may come back and revisit this later, but I think this is... I think we definitely chalk this up as a CBB. It's good enough right now, but could be better. Let me just double check. Alpha looks good. Good. PNG 32. We'll say this is pose B. Alright, where are we at? 11:30. Alright. Any of you guys tired yet? I'm tired. I am starting to fade here. I think I might have to wind down. We are at 11:30, so any other guys got any other questions? I mean, it's very unusual that we really didn't get into any serious movie discussions tonight at all, which is good. I mean, I still got some productivity done, but I mean, I know that some of you guys like to talk movies, but if not, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. This has been great. This is a fun way to spend a Friday night. You know, I mean, it's Los Angeles. What else is there to do in this town, right? I mean, this is like one of these small town things. There's not much going on here. Okay, maybe a little bit. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys hanging out. Some of you on literally on the other side of the earth, which is very cool. that is actually really cool. Let's see. Yeah, you still having trouble downloading the stuff? Alright, I'm gonna fill my cup up one last time and probably wind down. Thanks, man. Well, I'm not staying that far. Well, the nice thing too is the upside of waiting till 11:30. It's about 25 miles away where I'm staying, and it's now a drivable time. When I come in the morning, it's anywhere from an hour to hour and a half just to go that. So now driving home is going to be a half hour at the most, which is cool. But yep, thank you, man. I will be good. But thanks again for coming and hanging out, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, geez, man, you're in New York, right? So you're like, I'm hoping you're home. I hope you're not have to go anywhere because that's way late. Oh, but you actually said you do vampire hours, didn't you? So this is nothing for you, man. This is like, you know, easy, right? I used to be able to do the all-nighters a lot easier when I was younger. The older I get, it becomes a much bigger challenge. It was fun. Cool, man. Thank you. You're just saying that because you don't want me to mess with your chair again. I know that, but I'll still take it. Oh, man. Thanks again, and also thanks for the dude, I scored a couple of subs tonight, man. I really appreciate that, guys. I do appreciate that. Thanks again for hanging out, and thanks for subscribing. As I mentioned before, I still don't have a credits thing. I gotta do that. I probably won't do that until I get home, so I got another week of no credits, but I want to do like a nice little fade out kind of thing. But in the meantime, yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out. I do have a Discord. It is there on the Twitch page. So if you look on that, you click on that. You can, if you have anything, if you guys want to talk more, video games, movies, or all the above, I am on there usually pretty frequently. I'm learning to stay on there. Once again, I am out in the field, but I still have it on my phone, so I'm still reachable. But if not, I'm going to keep doing this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, man. This seems to be a pretty decent kind of setup. Had some guys come out and hang out with me tonight, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thanks for all the chatting. Some great topics. And thanks for all the feedback you guys were giving each other, too, man. That's pretty freaking awesome. That is so cool. So, yeah. I'm tired. So, I definitely need to head home, catch some sleep. But I will be back Monday. Now, the only thing that could happen is, once again, I am working freelance, and I'll warn you guys now, if Monday comes, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time comes, and I'm not going live, that is probably because I am working feverishly overtime hours to get worked on a undisclosed TV show. So Don't be too surprised next week, either Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, if I'm running late. But I will at least try and get over here. I think that happened once before, but I will start up. It may not be at 8 next week. Hopefully it will be. Hopefully I can get all my work done before then. But come on out. Come out and hang out with me on Monday, or if for those of you in New Zealand, I guess it'd be Tuesday. So, but once again, guys, thank you so much for hanging out, and I hope to see you guys again on Monday. Until then, adios.